Hello everybody, welcome to the toss. We are with Ellie Threlkeld, the Lancashire Thunder captain. Ellie, first and foremost, tell me what's happened at the toss and what you're going to be doing first.
Lost the toss and we're going to be having a bowl.
Okay, well, how are you feeling about that then?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Obviously, it looks a good pitch. Don't think it's going to change too much. So yeah, hopefully some conditions for a bit of swing and hopefully we can set the tone early and get some early wickets and set us up for a good game.
You mentioned the conditions. There has been some weather around the northwest of England today. It's always good to be in Blackpool, but I guess batting second, that'll give you a chance to control things in that sense, knowing what you have to chase.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, look, we've obviously there is a bit of weather around, classic northern weather. So yeah, hopefully we don't get any of that, but if we do, we should be in a good position to deal with that batting second.
Have you made any changes to your team?
Yes, Liberty Heaper's come in for Sophie Morris.
And why have you gone that way today?
I think just playing an extra batter. Been short of a few runs last game, so yeah, going with an extra batter. Yeah, hopefully strengthen our batting line up a little bit and get a big total on the board second innings.
Well, let's hear from Grace Scribbins as well. Thank you, Ellie. Good best of luck for the game ahead. Grace, then you've won the toss. You must be glad about that because you've had the choice first and foremost. Why did you go with a decision to bat first?
Yeah, always happy when you win the toss. Yeah, so obviously a used pitch, had a game on it yesterday, so bat first and make use of the conditions early, I think. Was
there any thought that being in the field might mean it's more difficult when the weather's around and that kind of thing?
Yeah, obviously weather, you have to always consider. We're just hoping that it stays away and obviously, yeah, hope for a full game and that doesn't get affected by the weather, so hopefully that'll be the case.
Yeah, so you're after a full 20 overs. And from your team's perspective, go in with the same number of wins as Lancashire Thunder have. I guess this is a real chance with Sparks losing yesterday to try and get in that top four.
Yeah, I think definitely we're looking with an eye to the playoffs, so yeah, hopefully it'll be a great game and we can come out with a win today.
And just one more on changes made to your side today. Have you made any?
Yeah, we've made one change. Abs unfortunately misses out and Amu comes in.
And what's the thinking there?
Again, yeah, just I think another batter in will strengthen our batter line up, and obviously she offers skills with all three assets of the game as well, so that will just boost fielding and bowling as well.
Well, thanks, Grace. As I say, best of luck to yourself as well. That's the news from the toss, everybody. It will be Sunrisers who will be batting because they've won the toss here.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
How's that?
We are in a hard world of professional elite sport.
And a warm welcome from Emirates Old Trafford. We are back again.
It isn't a nice Sunday school tea party. There are no hiding places.
It's another monster hit for six.
I know we are good enough, but we're just not showing it on the pitch.
You put that support in, you put that investment in, right, start winning games. Doesn't work like that, does it?
It means so much. It means so much to me, the staff and everyone in it.
A few wins put together, maybe they could actually reach finals day.
Well, that's a ferocious looking shot.
We don't want equal pay, we want equal opportunity.
They're going to try and show a little bit of something for the investment that's been put in.
The reality dawns, that is what professional sport is.
Hello everybody and welcome to Blackpool Cricket Club, Lancashire Thunder versus the Sunrisers, your entertainment today. Delighted to say alongside me is cricket content creator Ellie Indy. But first of all, as we were seeing there, the news from the toss is that Sunrisers have chosen to bat. They've made one change to their team. Lancashire Thunder doing the same. They've made one change. They'll be in the field first. We've got grey skies and a little bit of rain around this morning. It's been quite heavy in places. It's been light in other places. It's been non-existent in others. Let's hope it stays away for the duration of this game. A reminder of those teams then: Emma Lamb, Fee Morris, Katie Mack, Seren Smale, Ellie Threlkel, Danny Collins, Katie Cross, Sophie Eccleston, Tara Norris, Phoebe Graham, and the one change, Libby Heap, coming in for Sophie Morris for Thunder. And for the Sunrisers, Grace Scrivens, Jo Gardner, Lissy McLeod, Maddie Villiers, Jodie Grucock, Flo Miller, Amara Carr, Eva Gray, Sophie Munro, Nicola Hancock, and Amu Surankumar comes in for Abta Maqsood as the Sunrisers change. Ellie, what do you make of the way the teams have gone today?
I think Thunder are going with a more attacking approach, having pretty terrible batting performances at Old Trafford recently. They've brought in Libby Heap, who I think offers more with the bat compared to Sophie Morris. And then you've also got Amu Surankumar coming in for Abta Maqsood, pace to spin. So I think there, again, with the bowling, they're trying to put in a bit more power with the Sunrisers. They've also moved Maddie Villiers to opening position instead of Grace Scrivens, which again I think is just more intent. Of the years, I think Villiers has just become a really great, solid all-rounder, and I think that's just a pretty good call considering, I guess, the both teams' weak batting performances.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have been lacking runs, really. They've both got 2 wins. They're on the fringes of those top 4 positions, which will gain you qualification for finals day. Thunder looking to get there for the second successive year. This feels pretty big, particularly given, as we were saying at the toss, Sparks lost yesterday.
Yeah, I think they're both quite similarly matched sides. It's going to be great entertainment, I think, like you say, may decide the playoffs. And they're both, I guess, struggling in the same departments. It will be interesting to see which way this one goes. Yeah,
I mean, certainly the side that wins this game is going to be in pole position, aren't they, for those playoff positions? You know, they will steal a march. They will be up there with Sparks if they can get a bonus point. So they will put themselves in a really good position to get in that top 4. The other team, though, is going to be struggling.
Exactly, and I think what we've got to remember is bonus points as well. Western Storm narrowly missing out on last place because they've got 3 bonus points over the Diamonds. So I think it's really important as well that they need to put in these good performances today to make sure that they're beating each other, not only on points, but also bonus points to ensure that they're beating the likes of Sparks and Vipers to the playoffs.
Yeah, and we mentioned we do have games happening elsewhere at the moment, one of those involving Western Storm, who, as you quite rightly say, they've still got a bit of an outside chance because they've had a game cancelled, they've won a game, but they've won it with a bonus point. So they've actually got 7 as the players make their way out onto the field. We've got Villiers and Grucock, is that, who are going to be, Gardner, in fact, who are going to be opening the batting for the Sunrisers, and a huddle there of the Thunder players in their all red strip as well. Those other games taking place at the moment then: Western Storm 93 for 4 against the Southern Vipers. They're chasing 138 in that game. And Southeast Stars 122 for 8. They set Central Sparks 123 to win. It's 34 for 3. The Sparks needing 89 from another 13.4 overs in that one. We're about to get underway here at a very nice time to be starting a game on a Sunday afternoon. I think it's fair to say, Ellie, 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I mean, what more could you want? A little bit of cricket on the telly.
Nice weather.
Well, yes, yeah, it's a little overcast, isn't it, at the moment? That's the only drawback. But certainly, if you're settling in to cook your Sunday lunch or whatever, make sure you have us on the Lancs TV YouTube stream. Mike Perkins and cricket content creator Ellie Indy are going to be keeping you company this afternoon. We're all ready to get going here, and the bowling will be starting from the south end.
Left armer Tara Norris coming in to bowl here.
Yeah, so, I mean, Norris, I was saying in the last game, she'll have a real eye kind of on that World Cup happening in America at the moment, given her international honours.
Yeah, for America, 5 caps there in the America's World Cup qualifier herself. So I think if they can replicate the same success the men are having for this World Cup, it'd be really good for her.
Yeah, and certainly big with an Olympics potentially coming up, but she's in the all-red of Thunder. Tara Norris delivering left arm over the wicket. It's pulled into the onside. It was not hit particularly well by Gardner, so there'll be no run from the first delivery. Slightly short of length from Norris, but into the body of Gardner there, Ellie Indy.
Loosener.
And it's going to be a quick check of the field again now as Gardner faces up. This time does get the pull stroke away. It's gone down towards long leg, and that will trickle out that way and provide a single on offer. It's returned by Libby Heap, one of the Thunder players into the side today, and she's able to retrieve the ball relatively easily there. Little examination of it up at mid-off before it's handed back to Tara Norris. I mean, one aspect that I think's fairly integral to the Thunder chances at the end of this is that one's a wide down the leg side, so another one added to the total. We move to 2 without loss with that. I think, Ellie, one of the aspects that Thunder have managed to rectify, obviously Georgia Vol getting injured a big loss, losing your overseas. They've been playing without an overseas, but Katie Mack back in the side today. How do you see that one?
Yeah, straight off the plane. She was originally signed just for April, May, and she's going to see out the Charlotte Edwards Cup and the Rachel Hale Flint Trophy to the end of July.
Here's Norris bowling, and that one's hit high into the air. There's a fielder out there, but it's way over their head, and it's 6 runs, and it brings a cheer from the Sunrisers squad sat on the balcony, and that's a big, big hit from Maddie Villiers, and that's exactly what she's at the top of the order to do, Ellie Indy. 8 without loss.
That's the intent that they want her to bring. That's why she's been promoted to the opening order, and I think, yeah, dealing with the left arm pace really well there.
And I mean, you called it at the start. She's a player with aggressive intent, and she's shown it there.
Absolutely. I just think that over the past couple of years, she's really improved on her batting. As Tara Norris comes in here.
And she's going to be bowling again to Villiers, having just been clapped for a big 6. This one takes the outside edge. It goes into a gap, and it's going to be chased back down towards third by Graham. Villiers quick between the wickets, picks up 2. 10 without loss. Good start from the Sunrisers. They appear to mean business here today. And that one just popping up off the outside edge. So last ball very much belonged to Villiers, but that one there did not.
I think, again, just a quick pace between the wickets as well. It's all right hitting all these big 6s, but you've got to have that intent between the wickets as well, which I think is what she brings here.
Here comes Norris again for the South End at Blackpool Cricket Club. Worked round the corner by Villiers. There's going to be a chase on to pick that one up. Libby Heap doing the work again down there, and returning to Ellie Threlkeld. Just a single the damage on that occasion. So Norris still needing to get out of this over. It's looking a little bit of a hodgepodge in the bottom right of your screen there on Lancs TV. .1 wide, which added 1 to the total, a 6, a 2 and a 1. So a little bit of licorice all sorts in the first over in terms of the numbers being recorded by our scorers, as that one is into the body again of Gardner, cramps her for room like the first ball did, and the result's the same, another dot ball. End of the first over then, Ellie Indy. What have you made of it? The score 11 without loss.
Well recovered from Tara Norris there at the end, but I think, yeah, like I say, with moving Villiers up the order, I just think this is what Sunrise are doing. They've got that intent, they want to go hard at the Thunder bowling. So yeah, and obviously Maddie Villiers hitting one wide, but then also a quick pace between the wickets, what you like to see.
17 T20 internationals for Maddie Villiers. I mean, you have to make use of that experience, really, don't you?
Absolutely, I think, and having that at such a young age, coming through that, and now probably being one of the more senior players at Sunrisers, I think is really working out quite well for her and her partners around her.
Kate Cross then, the England international. Red rose once again on that shirt, and she wears it proudly as always, and she's got work to do for a team here because they've conceded 11 off the first over, so a good start in the power play from Sunrisers, going about this with some real intent, as this one is bowled, and Cross forces a defensive stroke from Villiers first of all, and with those 17 T20 internationals and many more England squads that Maddie Villiers has been involved in, she will no doubt be familiar with Kate Cross's bowling.
Just back from England duties, Kate Cross as well, alongside Sophie Eccleston in this Thunder side. It's hard to look past Kate Cross as being an influential figure in this Thunder side today. And yeah.
Here she comes again. Elbows jutting out slightly she goes, but it's a very straight approach. It's a very straight delivery, but it was into the pads and it's been flicked up and over the top, and it's slightly wrong foot. The fielder out there on the far side, and it's returned over the wickets for the loss of a couple more runs. 13 without loss, the total moves on to. Cross running back to her mark. It was the busy Danny Collins out there towards sort of where the little kindergarten is on the leg side, as the right-handed Villiers faces up to the bowling from the north end where we're sat, and that one is prodded into the leg side. Fee Morris quickly across and underarms it back into towards the wickets, and 13 without loss it stays. We've also got the pavilion to our right-hand side, lovely sort of decking area there, and one or two actually sat out on there, which I'm surprised by, Ellie. I think that's quite brave, given our weather conditions. We'll get some more thoughts as the breeze ruffles the trees in the distance, and cross bowls, and backing away is Villiers. She's hit it high, straight into the lap of Danny Collins at square leg on the boundary, and it was well pouched indeed by Collins. A catch you would expect to take 10 out of 10, but the short cameo from Villiers ends on 11. The score 13 for 1, and Ellie Indy, that was exactly what Thunder needed from their England international Kate Cross to get that wicket.
There was just a sense of confidence with Kate Cross's stride. I don't think it was going to be too soon until she took the wicket, and I'm not surprised. She's tempted Maddie Villiers in there, who has just started to become a little bit destructive, put to an end. And I think we all missed it, but umpire doing some fancy footwork. Can't believe we've missed that.
Oh, OK, I completely missed that. What was the umpire doing there?
Tossing the ball with his feet. I just thought that was a very impressive thing.
Oh, that's incredibly skillful. Incredibly skillful. As was the catch from Danny Collins. I mean, there was some pressure on her out there, really. As I say, it was one a professional cricketer would expect to take 10 out of 10, but given Villiers had cleared the rope on the leg side once already in the game, that needed to be taken.
Looked to dip a bit short too, so I think a very good catch there, very good perception.
Yeah, it was well judged by Danny Collins. He's just going to have a chat with a member of the Thunder squad who's dropped off a drink or a quick snack. As Cross just twiddles the fingers as she contemplates her next move. It'll be to Lissy McLoud, who's come in and is pulling that one away behind square on the leg side, and he'll pick up 4. And Villiers may have only hit the one boundary, but Lissy McLoud straight in, taking advantage of the power play and picking up another. This time on the floor, 17 for 1 with the 4 added to the total. Ellie Indy.
One of the more experienced players, Lizzie McLeod in the side, 30 years old, played for Berkshire since 2008. Seems like, again, they've just got this aggressive mentality with them today. If Villiers was anything to go by, I think McLeod is carrying on that form.
No relation to Laura McLeod. He used to play for England, of course, Central Sparks Director of Cricket, certainly as far as I'm aware. This one is pulled away into the leg side. There's a chase on for Collins, who's been busy in this over, having got the catch. She just about gathers it, almost overslid it, but she keeps the scoring down to just the 1 run there. 2 runs, in fact. 19 for 1, the score moves on to. McLeod on to 6 already. Very positive start to her innings, Ellie Indy.
Again, it's just that in 10, I think Sunrisers know that their batting has been a bit subpar. They really struggled at Lords. But for them now to come out, I guess, with Villiers and McLeod going for them boundaries, I think that's going to be quite nice to look forward to in this power play. And obviously then you've got Grace Scrivens after the power play who'll just guide you through your innings, which will be very good.
Yeah, it's interesting they haven't gone with Scrivens at the top of the order. She's kind of occupied that position for some time for Sunrise, but they're mixing it up, and I think this is a good tactic, and I think it shows that Sunrise are serious about their T20 cricket. The sun momentarily out between overs there as well. We've seen it's a brave move to sit on the decking, but there are a few who've come out and done just that, as Phoebe Graham into the attack and wraps McLeod on the pads. It brings some anguished cries, but always slipping down the leg side, that one felt, and no run added to the total. But yeah, nice we've had an appearance from the sun. Hopefully it'll bring us a little bit of warmth in this gazebo here.
I've got a lovely little warm breeze coming up my legs then. Very nice.
Here comes Graham. Bowl short of length, and that one's clapped away into the leg side by Gardner. It's trickling all the way out to the far side. They're going to come back for 2. It was a good piece of fielding in the end out there by the busy Collins, who switched sides. So if we're at the north, she's on the east side of the ground then now, having been on the west for the previous overs to take the catch on the leg side boundary. As Graham comes running in, the bank green grass behind her here at Blackpool Cricket Club, and this one is played down to third. Libby Heap picks up and returns for the loss of only 1 run, straight into the gloves of Ellie Threlkeld. Total now moves on to 22 for 1. It'll be the first time that Lizzie McLeod's faced from this end, so she's carefully marking her guard. Will she be looking to take advantage of these areas in front of square where the fielders are up? We'll find out after this delivery from Graham. Again looking for the pull stroke, again missing it, taken on the pads. It was going well over the top, always bouncing high from the deliveries of Graham because she's a tall figure. But that feels where the scoring can be done. There's this sort of ring of 3 on the offside, Ellie Indy, that she could look to target past sort of Katie Mack in the middle of them there at cover, or equally to go through the leg side and beat mid-on and mid-wicket. Is that where she'll be looking to score?
This is just the over that Thunder needed, really, after quite a damaging first over by Maddie Villiers as Phoebe Graham comes in there.
Yeah, it was 11 off the first. There's an appeal. It hits the pads. That was, I think, the closest to the ones we've seen, but still slipping down the leg side. It brings a leg by. 23 for 1. The total moves on to.
Very tidy over. And again, this is kind of just what Thunder needed. Calm the Sunrisers batters. Don't give them any hope.
Here comes Phoebe Graham again. Delivering now, and it's played into the offside by Gardner. Defensive stroke, just rising up with the bounce of that, and happy to take a dot ball there. So 23 for 1 at the end of the 3rd over of this innings. And as you were saying there, Ellie, it feels as if Thunder have pulled it back slightly in those previous 2 overs.
Yeah, definitely. As Kate Cross comes back on with success in her first over, the wicket of Maddie Villiers.
Yeah, it was a very interesting matchup, more or less this time. Last week it was a little later on the Sunday, but against Tammy Beaumont, but she didn't really have the runs to play with here. But on this occasion, Kate Cross will be attempting to restrict the Sunrisers to a total that can be chased. Sophie Eccleston makes her way up to mid-on. Fee Morris poised at mid-wicket there. Backing away and clapped into the leg side, and this will be a chase that even the agile Danny Collins won't be able to make. 4 more to the total, 27 for 1. Ellie India starting the over with a boundary. Batters always like to do that.
Again, I just think they need to be careful and sort the field placement out. I think Danny Collins looks a bit lonely out there on her own.
Yeah, it's the way the power play, I suppose, isn't it, with only being allowed 2 out, but that was speared in towards the pads, and giving herself room was McLoud, who's clearly been sent out there to hit boundaries in the power play, and she's looking to do so. Cross again, right arm over the wicket. Again, an attempt to heave into the leg side. Doesn't get much of it. McLoud has to be quick, and I think had that been a little more accurate, she might have been in a bit of trouble, but in the end was able to just pull up and jog in the last few paces because the throw was clearly going to be wide of the stumps. Threlkeld it was who'd gone to gather it, the wicket-keeper and captain. Seemed in good form this morning. Looking forward to another game of T20, looking forward to the possibility of stealing the march and getting into the top 4 positions. 28 for 1 with that leg by off the last delivery, and Gardner again forced into a defensive stroke, and she's now 4 off 8, so she'll be looking to hit a boundary here, you would imagine. It's sort of the modern way, isn't it, Ali? If you get behind that 1-ball strike rate, it's almost the emphasis is on you. You have to try and find a boundary somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you've got Lizzie McLeod at the other end who's just whacking it for fun a little bit, there's a bit of pressure on you there.
Here's Gardner facing up, advances down the track, I think looking to put a bit of momentum into the ball. She'll only pick up one to Tara Norris, who didn't gather cleanly. Had she gathered cleanly, there may have been a possibility of a run out. But the main thing was that was quite fiercely struck, so she got behind it first and foremost. One more to the total, 29 for 1.
Intent there again. I think that there's just this mentality about Sunrisers now. I think they've had to reflect on the past couple of games. While they did do well against Diamonds, that was a very close game. It was Grace Scribbins leading at the top, final over thriller.
Here comes Cross again. Bowls, and this one's hit high towards us in the commentary position, but it's going to be Eccleston just getting her hands on it outside the ring. Couldn't quite hold on though. Diving backwards towards where we are beyond the boundary. It was always going to be a tough catch over her shoulder. She got there with both hands though, Ellie Indy. Would have she expected to have held on?
Missed opportunity there. I think with the form that Lizzie McLeod is in at the moment, this is one of her best innings to date, picking up just 1 run against Stars, 2 against Diamonds, 9 against Western Storm. She's in for the runs. Missed opportunity there for Sophie Eccleston and Thunder.
Takes McLeod to 13 off 7, 31 for 1. Thunder needing to take their chances. Cross calls up her fielder at third inside the ring and sends back Fee Morris to the mid-wicket boundary. Potentially costly moment there for Thunder. It's worth making a note that McLeod was on 13 at the time, and she'll add to that with a ball clipped round the corner out towards the leg side boundary, and she finds the leg side boundary for the second time in the over. 35 for 1, and having got the reprieve, Lizzie McLeod making the most of it. She's on to 17 now. The score, as we say, 35 after 4 overs.
Very costly drop there already.
Yep, it's one that they could well end up ruining when we count the beans up at the end of this game. Lizzie McLeod dropped for 13 by Sophie Eccleston, and I suppose with it being your international player in the side, that's another reason you'd expect that catch to be taken.
Yeah, I think she's one of more finer fielders in the women's game. Her height obviously helps getting up there. Just one of those. I think she timed it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, she did well to make the ground, didn't she? But having got there, you just thought she was going to hang on. As this one's hit through that region wide of mid-on that we were talking about a couple of overs ago. Phoebe Graham dispatched to the boundary for 4, 39 for 1. And we said Jo Gardner would be looking for a boundary to get that strike rate back up towards 1 a ball. She's 9 off 10 now with those 4 runs.
Just what they needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's so impressive the way players can do that these days, isn't it? That as soon as that strike rate starts to drop, they just seem to find a way to get the boundary. I mean, it helps in the power play, I suppose, with everyone up.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think maybe a mindset, like I keep saying with the Sunrisers, they've just got that behind them.
Here's Graham again. Oh, and that one's bounced horrendously from Jo Gardner's point of view. Brilliant piece of bowling. Really just jumped. I don't know if she maybe ran the fingers on it. Was it possibly a leg cutter that helped jag that one? It wasn't taken cleanly by Threlkeld, which shows just what a deviation it took.
Yeah. Well, it's a dot ball. We'll go down as that.
Yeah, but it was so much more for you watching on Lancs TV with Mike Perkins and Ellie Indy as McLeod goes down the ground, Gardner rather goes down the ground, and that one will be away for 4 runs. Just the one bounce in the end. It was pretty close to the rope and clattered into the sight screen. Wonderful shot there from Jo Gardner. And having got 1 boundary, she's doubled her money.
And much needed. I think she was taking a bit of time. I think just assessing the conditions. Rather than Lizzie McLeod obviously just coming in and hitting it straight away. Jo Gardner's taking her time, and I think now
looking to accelerate as she hits this one hard into the leg side. There is a fielder out there though. It will only be 1 run. Just about gathered there at the second attempt by Libby Heap. Danny Collins even, who's doing plenty of work. She's getting from one side to the other on a fairly regular basis. 44 for 1. Gardner on to 14. Brings McLeod back onto strike as we get a waft of the smell of the barbecue starting up here. As McLeod looks to go through that route wide of mid-on. Doesn't quite get as much of it as Gardner did earlier in the over, so that will just be the 1 run. Neat tumbling stop by Eccleston there. So good fielding on that occasion. Settling back over a bat is Gardner. 45 for 1 the total. Libby Heap coming up at third. Back goes Fee Morris. That seems to be the tactic late in the over at the moment, to give that a little bit of extra protection on the leg side boundary. Here comes Graham. It's prodded into the offside. No run on offer, although had it escaped the ring there and had it beaten Emma Lamb at backward point, that would have probably trickled away for 4 runs. It's a lightning fast outfield today.
It is, and I think, the pitch looks great as well for runs. I think we were saying that these two teams hadn't been in the most run-scoring form lately. I think this is a perfect opportunity for both of them to get the runs on the board.
5 overs gone, 45 for 1, as you were just seeing on the run rate calculations there. And Sophie Eccleston coming into the attack now to bowl the last over of the power play. Interesting tactic to go to spin at this point. It's going to be a tough test for her with only 2 allowed outside the ring.
It's Sophie Eccleston though.
It is. You're quite right there, Ellie. Number 1 T20 bowler in the world. And
all formats.
Yeah, fantastic to have her at Lancashire Thunder's disposal.
Both her and Kate Cross, like I say, coming back from England duty, they'll be a real aid with them trying to make playoffs for the Charlotte Edwards Cup this year.
It's 251 international wickets across all formats for Sophie Eccleston. On her way to bowl now. Backing away there was McLoud, and doesn't get too much on it, so has to settle for a dot ball. As the wind rattles our commentary position here, we're sort of in a gazebo at the north end of the ground as this one is clipped down towards us. Kate Cross will stride in to do the fielding comfortably and keep the scoring to 1. 46 for 1 the total. Do Thunder need another wicket here?
I think they've just started to restrict them. I feel like there's something coming this Eccleston over.
Eccleston bowls and they look for the paddle, and Ellie Indy calls it there. She felt there was something coming, and there was indeed. Gardner looking to paddle down to the vacant position behind the wicketkeeper there on the 45 on the leg side, looking to get it fine of there and for runs. Misjudges it and is bowled. So Gardner, after an enterprising little knock, is out, and she'll be disappointed having just got going in the previous over to find herself dismissed. Ellie Indy, what did you make of that?
It was a bold move, perhaps not the right shot, and the pressure getting to her, perhaps having not made the straightaway impact like her teammates Maddie Villiers and Lizzie McLeod had done. I
thought you'd have majored there on the fact that you called that before Sophie Eccleston had even started her run.
I'm not going to rub it in or anything. I've got sense for these things.
Cricket content creator Ellie Indy with us here today on Lancs TV, and we have Grace Scrivens striding to the crease. Good time for Scrivens to be coming in here. As we say, we're used to seeing her at the top of the list, but actually she can control the middle overs potentially here if she can get through these next few balls from Sophie Eccleston, which, if you're tuning in from the Lancs Thunder point of view, you will very much be hoping this second half of the over sees the end of Grace Scrivens before she gets going. Waits bats raised and immediately underway. A little clip into the leg side, thinks about coming back for 2, and does come back for 2 because there's a little misfield on the far side. A little sloppy on that occasion from Collins. But yeah, you're right about that Gardner innings. I mean, it was a mixed innings, wasn't it? There was a couple of nice boundaries in the previous over, but then at other times really struggling.
Yeah.
Here comes Eccleston to bowl, and that one's pushed into the offside. There's no run to Fee Morris.
Very bland answer of me there, just yes, but absolutely. But I think what we've got to consider as well is Flo Miller and Jodie Grewcock coming in as well. They're 2 really bright young stars.
Here's Eccleston bowls, that one turning back dangerously towards the pads, but it doesn't produce a wicket, and Scrivens does survive those 3 balls. So end of the power play, 48 for 2. That seemed a fairly decent power play for the Sunrisers to me. Ellie Indy, what did you make of it?
Absolutely, I think. I'm going to use the I word again. There was in 10, I think Maddie Villiers did what she was there to do, came out and hit quite a few boundaries in her time. Lizzie McLeod still at the crease again, came in, instant impact, and I think just the only slight wobble, Jo Gardner really, who had a mixed innings, like we say. She started off slow, was able to hit some, and then decided to play perhaps the incorrect shot.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why she played it. She clearly felt that area was vacant and she could get it fine. And if she got any bat on it, she felt she was going to get 4 again, particularly with the pace that Eccleston puts on the ball because she is a quick spinner. But ended up being her downfall and maybe a bit ambitious first ball she'd faced from Eccleston. This is Norris coming in from the south end. Bowling a ball that is cut away for 4 runs. Really nice stroke. And Thunder had used their fielders mainly back on the leg side, having got out of the power play. And that allowed the ball to be cut away for 4 runs, and 4 important runs there for the Sunrisers. So they're clearly not going to look to miss out on the boundary count here, with the total now moving past 50 as well with that stroke, Ellie Indy.
Tara Norris comes in again.
Looking to deliver a straighter delivery this time, and she does do so. It's hit away to Emma Lamb, who's still patrolling a position around about backward point. We're quite low to the ground, so it can be a little difficult to tell the exact angles here. We've got Libby Heap at third, Emma Lamb at backward point, a fielder out at cover, an extra cover, and a mid-off on the offside. And then we've got one in the ring on the leg side, as well as a long on and mid-wicket backward square leg. Backing away, cutting away, but to that fielder on the cover boundary. So only 1 run on offer for McLeod, who's been bright with the bat so far here. Moves on to 24. It's 53 for 2.
I think they're really looking to target Tara Norris there. I think her first over slightly battered by Maddie Villiers. And you can see what Lizzie McLeod is trying to do and hear it.
What will the Scrivens approach be? She's left-handed, of course, so field having to change for Tara Norris. This was very much Fortress Blackpool last year, wasn't it? With Thunder coming here and beating both the Stars and the Diamonds in their final game. So they will be hoping to continue that here today against the Sunrisers. But it's been a good power play for the visitors as Norris bowls. And that one is chipped up into the offside, dangerously for a moment, but doesn't quite reach Eccleston.
Again, I think Scrivens, she's never been a very quick starter. She'll be assessing the conditions. She's got a really calm head. She's captain for a reason, and I think she'll just be...
There's a fielder back on the leg side boundary in front of square and another down at long leg for Tara Norris at the moment, who obviously bowling to a left-hander is sort of swinging it away rather than in as she would usually do. Now this one's up in the air into that leg side. It's going to be Katie Mack who's going to have to watch the bounce, and does so. It nearly evaded her for a second, but she scrambled and was able to pick it up. But more applause from those of Sunrisers Persuasion up on the balcony. Remember, you're watching Lancs TV. Mike Perkins and Ellie Indy here with you. Scrivens getting back and on to 4. 55 for 2. Tree's relatively still now, just ever so slightly swayed by the breeze in the distance as in comes Norris to bowl. Driven back to her, but didn't really get anything on it. For a second thought there might be a caught and bowled chance, but it just evaded the fingertips in the end of Tara Norris. 1 to the total, 56 for 2.
Just too quick, coming straight back at her, but Scrivens survives the over.
Always a tough one, that, isn't it, when it gets driven back at the bowler, but it was kind of, she just never seemed as if, because of the way she followed through, she just never seemed she was going to get back.
Yeah, it's one of them. You don't expect to do it. You expect them, I don't know, to hit a sweep shot or something like that. You don't expect it coming back at you, so it's very hard to react in time. But I think just to restrict them to a run there was really well fielded.
Long conversation mid-pitch between the batters who return to their positions, and on into the attack comes Fee Morris, as you may have heard on the tannoy as well. Ellie Threlkel just adjusting the field once more. We've got a fielder back at mid-wicket on the boundary. In fact, it's cover because it's going to be the left-handed Scrivens to face up to Morris, who'll bowl around the wicket to start with here. Just decides the jumper is no longer required either.
I wouldn't claim it that sunny. I don't think it's that level for me yet.
I think if you're bowling, perhaps, but I'm certainly not going to lose the jumper at this stage. So Fee Morris comes in, delivers, cut off the back foot. Nice shot. Again, some fielding required in the distance, and that's done by Libby Heap. Into the side today. One change for both sides. Amu Surunkumar for Sunrisers and Libby Heap, as we were saying there, who's a clean striker of the ball. So I guess that's what Thunder will be hoping she brings to the team.
Had that great under-19 World Cup with England. I thought really announced herself more as a batter than a bowler, but
yeah, she's definitely a talent, is Libby Heap. As Morris comes in, digs that one into the pitch as the batter advanced. So McLoud was all of a sudden back and trying to force it through the offside, but only found a fielder in the form of Emma Lamb. Morris again, the all-red strip at Lancashire Thunder. This one is cut away into the offside, and this is going to be more of a chase. And McLeod's looking for two. She's going to have to be sharp, and she is sharp. It was a return from Collins that was just not quite quick enough or accurate enough to prevent that second. Good running between the wickets from the Sunrisers. Threlkel just, again, tweaking the field before Morris approaches and bowls, and is clipped into the leg side. There's going to be a chase from two fielders who are back on that leg side. Heap the first to the ball and returns this. And again, with a switch of batters' striking styles from right to left, the field must switch again in turn. And Sunrisers just trying to keep the innings moving here. 60 for 2 at the moment. The couple sat in the plastic seats as well, towards the point area at the moment as that one's delivered, and Eccleston there with the return. Applause from Kate Cross. And that's exactly what Thunder should be doing. Slick fielding from those all in red. Can they pick up another couple of crucial wickets here? Morris looking for that. Oh. Attempt at the reverse sweep. An appeal for LBW, but it was a wishful one as that one's thrown back to Morris. His hands go to a head, concedes a single. 61 for 2. A little bit of a nothing over, really. That it didn't sort of take the game one way or the other.
Yeah, I feel slightly as though Sunrisers are now starting to feel a bit more pressure, having not hit the boundary.
But they seemed content there, just to keep the ball moving. Yeah. You know, it's a sort of almost to maintain the status quo, if you like, of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some miscued shots in there, but rolled along the ground and got the runs at the end of the day.
Now Eccleston's going to try a look from the south end, it would seem. And she's going to do so with Graham on the 45, 2 back on the leg side boundary, mid-wicket, and then a long on as well. So that's a third fielder on the leg side boundary. Means mid-off cover and backward pointer up. There's one back on the offside as well as Eccleston bowls. This one's prodded towards Emma Lamb, who does the fielding across from a straightish mid-wicket position. Dot ball. Couple of birds gliding on the breeze in the distance as this one's reverse swept down towards a fine third position. Two fielders are going to have to pursue it, and they're going to look for 3 runs here at the Sunrisers. It's hauled in just inside the rope and returned. Really excellent piece of fielding by Tara Norris, who had to chase that one with Phoebe Graham in support, and the pair of them got it back, but 3 runs conceded rather than 4 there. 64 for 2.
Yeah, great piece of work right in front of us. Oh, yeah, we like to see it. A couple more shots this way wouldn't be too bad, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, our view gets slightly obscured by the sight screen, so we become almost reliant on the monitor, but that was a really good bit of fielding by Tara Norris as this one's hit in the air. Now, this could be an attempt at a catch, but it was a one-handed attempt in the end because McLoud had just managed to get it enough in front of square, and Fee Morris really valiant effort, but an effort in vain. It cost Thunder 4 more runs, and that's a really, really nice stroke. Just picked up by McLoud and takes the score on 68.
Just keeping the tally going, really, I think. Even with the 3 runs, they're just starting to look a bit more comfortable.
It's interesting, they were just patting Fee Morris back in the last over, but they've gone after Sophie Eccleston. There's an appeal for caught behind there after the flashing sweep shot of McLoud went past, but I think only Threlkeld was interested. Perhaps just heard a noise on the way past and wanted to ask the question. Eccleston, who starts off from in front of the umpire and then delivers left arm around the wicket, pushed into the offside, heaps there, picks up on the tumble, 1 more to the total, 69 for 2. But Sunrisers will be happier with this over having found the boundary.
Yeah, and I think as Grace Scrivens continues her innings, she'll become more confident, and I think will start to produce the run-scoring fashion she did versus the Diamonds, scoring 64 there.
Yeah, winning the game there in the final over with 3 boundaries as well. She's looking to reverse sweep for the 2nd time in the over. It brought her 3 first time, brings her 1 this time. Again, more good work from Tara Norris, 70 for 2. The total moves on to, so that is the 9 over mark of this innings, 70 for 2. Thoughts at this stage, Ellie Indy?
It's not looking really either one way, I think. They're getting along quite nicely. Like I say, Lizzie McLeod with probably one of her best innings as of late. Grace Scrivens just starting to get into the game.
Will it be starting to worry Thunder, though, given their batting has been weak this season, that this total could get away from them if these two stay together for a few more overs? Let's see what Fee Morris can do about it. Again, an attempt at a reverse sweep. Big appeal for LBW,
That's what
and it's
Fee
out.
Morris can do.
She gets the wicket with an off-spinner, just pitching round about leg stump, turning onto the middle stump of the left-handed Scrivens, looking for that reverse sweep again, as she did in the previous over. It was profitable then, it wasn't profitable there, and Fee Morris has Grace Scrivens out, LBW, and that is the breakthrough that Thunder needed.
Absolutely, you just seem to thinking that it's going to get away from them there, but stopping Grace Scrivens in a track before she starts is absolutely key.
Seen the replay, I actually got the angle all wrong. It was pitched outside off stump and sort of just ran in with the arm and straightened a little bit there. But it was a lovely piece of bowling by Fee Morris. Height may be the only issue there, but it wasn't much of a stride from Scrivens, and the umpire was in no doubt that the finger was going to be raised. It was certainly very, very straight as Flo Miller strides out. 70 for 3, the score. And those in red will be feeling a little better about things, having seen the back of the dangerous Scrivens.
Flo Miller, 39 not out last game against South East Stars, and has also been pretty handy against Storm as well, 28. I think she's quite an exciting young talent, along Grace Scrivens and another left-handed player.
Takes a guard and marks it firmly. Just coming back to Scrivens for a moment, what are your thoughts on the... I mean, she clearly is a potential future England captain as Morris comes into bowl, right arm over the wicket, floated up, driven back to Morris. That'll be a dot ball start by Miller. I mean, what are your thoughts on when she should be brought into that role? I mean, I've heard some muting. It should even be happening quite soon, maybe even this season. As Morris bowls, this one swept hard into the leg side. There'll be 1 taken, 71 for 3, gets Miller underway.
I think it's very important for England to protect their young players. Maddie Villiers, I think, is a really good example of putting your players in young and potentially not backing him the way they should. I feel like if there was a mismanagement of Grace Scrivens, that would be a terrible thing for England.
Here comes Morris again. A couple of leaves are blown over the outfield. And
she's very young still. I think important for her development, I suppose, to keep at this level. I think she's been captaining England development, England A. I think she's going on all these tours. I think that gives her the international experience that she needs. I just think needs to keep more consistent. She's still young, and I think we need to remember that.
Here's Morris again. Last ball hit up to mid-on. That one turns past the outside edge and is a dot ball. So the single from the previous delivery took it to 72 for 3. Yeah, I mean, as I say, there was some talk of you could even bring her in and give her the captaincy straight away. I mean, to me, that feels very, very ambitious as Morris bowls. There's an appeal for LBW, and that's out. Second one of the over. It's Flo Miller for 1 this time. And again, you have to say it looked very, very straight, and you can understand why that finger was raised. Flo Miller is out, LBW to Fee Morris, and she's changed the game really for Thunder with 2 wickets in an over, 72 for 4.
Slightly looked like the runs were getting a bit too much for Thunder, as we see the replay there.
She'd clearly attempted there to try and get outside the line of the off stump, but actually the line of the ball was so straight that she had to come back to in line with the stumps, and she was absolutely dead once she missed it.
Absolutely.
Grucock walking out to the wicket now, just checking the gloves, and Fee Morris, as I say, the star performer of the over there, a wicket with the first and the last ball of it. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from Fee Morris. But just coming back to that Grace Griffiths thing, I mean, I would like to see her put into the England team somehow this summer with a view to her, you know, potentially becoming a captain at some point. But I don't think you can bring her in straight away as the captain. I think she needs some international experience first.
You can't throw someone in at the deep end like that. I think, again, she's so young and you do need to nurture these players. I think putting such a massive responsibility on her, whether she can handle it or not, would be quite extreme.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it would be a move brought out of potentially a lack of other options, and I think maybe Knight has to continue for a while, but with Scrivens in his side, which could be awkward in itself, as that one's pushed out for a dot ball there by Eccleston, who floats another up. Lissy McLeod drives firmly down the offside, and will pick up another single. She's looking the star performer at the moment from a Sunrisers point of view, with 34 now to her name. 73 for 4 the total. And I think the reason is, I mean, in the first time these sides met this season, we saw Scrivens actually have an innings where she really, really struggled, which is a rarity. But actually, you can have those innings at international level, but I don't think you can have those innings when you're captain on a regular basis, having sort of not established yourself in the way Heather Knight or Charlotte Edwards established themselves. And that one's hit in the air and caught at mid-wicket, and all of a sudden this is going very, very wrong for the Sunrisers. Grucock out, first ball for naught, caught by Emma Lamb off the bowling of Sophie Eccleston, and Thunder here at Fortress Blackpool starting to turn the screw. And well, that is an important wicket for those in red once again. It's 73 for 5 now.
Spinners doing damage in the middle overs. Who we got coming in? Amu Surunkumar's come on today. 19 years old.
Yep, coming into the side, so big moment for her, and coming out in a difficult position all of a sudden here. And probably not the situation Surunkumar would have wanted to come out in, and probably not the situation she would have expected to be coming out in just 2 overs ago.
No. I think when you've got more recognised batters in Amara Khan and Sophie Munro in the order, I think more experienced players could have come into this position, take the pressure off Amu there.
Well, they brought Surunkumar in, and they're backing her here. And she defends that first ball from Eccleston, but doesn't get forward. And that's a brave move, I think, against Sophie Eccleston. All of a sudden, the breeze starting to chill us again a little bit here as the sun's disappeared. And Surunkumar on the sweep straight away, chips it up in the air, provides a real test on the mid-wicket boundary. It's a test that is ably met in the end. And Surunkumar is off the mark, down to the non-striker's end with that one. 74 for 5.
Here comes Eccleston again. Lissy McLeod meets it on the full, drives fluently into the offside. It's been a very, very good innings from Lissy McLeod so far. Only gets one there, but she's on to 35. Does everything hinge on what Lissy McLeod can do here for Sunrisers?
For the moment, I would say yes. When you've got Eva Gray coming up, Nicola Hancock that can come in for those last few overs and whack it, then they've got that support there. But for now, I think as long as Surin Kumar and McLeod can form like a partnership here and keep some stability until the death overs.
Yeah, 74 for 5 after 11 overs, so that the run rate's probably in a decent position, up around towards 7s at the moment. Stepping away is McLeod, but it's that wickets column all of a sudden that's become a concern. McLeod onto 36 with that one. Total onto 75 for 5. Surin Kumar takes guard. Morris examining the ball. Be very happy with that. Last season, it's with the bat really that she made a name for herself, but she was useful with the ball as well. Very good all-rounder is Fee Morris, and she's bowling again. Down the leg side, appeal for caught behind. Threlkeld is convinced. The umpire is not convinced. And I think the umpire thought that was a bit of pad because there's no wide been signalled.
Been a fair few shouts today, especially off the bowling of Fee Morris.
Certainly Threlkeld thought it was out. This time Surin Kumar does turn it round the corner and does pick up one to the left-hand side of Phoebe Graham. Tall figure again, turning the ball for the loss of only one run. 76 for 5 is the total, as Fee Morris will once again make her way in. Delivers, nice sweep shot again, takes the ball out towards the leg side boundary. Another one added to the total, so 78 in fact becomes, 78 for 5 now, the total. So apologies, we missed a single there. Here comes Fee Morris to deliver a ball that Surin Kumar's gone after and got plenty of. And this one's going to go away to the straight mid-wicket boundary for 4. Takes her team into the 80s, and 82 for 5 the total moves on to.
Taking after Lizzie McLeod here, and I think this is just what they needed. No hesitation in that shot. Clearly not. Beautiful.
Such attacking intent at the moment shown by players, and exemplified again. Surin Kumar goes for a more delicate option this time. Gets the ball out towards the boundary and picks her up another 2 runs. Good running between the wickets.
A little bit of hesitation there from McLeod, but they get the reward in the end.
84 for 5 the total moves on to. That's certainly what it's showing here in Blackpool. Apologies if it's just gone behind on your screen for a moment there, but yeah, 84 for 5 showing on the big scoreboard on the far side with the orange digital telegraphed numbers. On the black backdrop, good old-fashioned classic scorebox. As I say, it's digital now, and so it's been modernised slightly here at Blackpool, but good to see a good old-fashioned scorebox at a good old-fashioned cricket club here, Blackpool, but one clearly that is also making strides forward and a big part of the future of the game. As Phoebe Graham just has a bit of a chat here with Kate Cross. Works out what the plan is for this next over. But I think actually with those wickets now, Thunder are in quite a good position here.
Fair whack of movement for Graham in the field.
Does send Kate Cross back eventually is the decision to long gone. That means third has to be up in the ring and backward point. Here comes Phoebe Graham. Backing away goes McLeod and hits it down the ground. Beautiful shot. Really good stroke She's been happy to give herself room throughout this innings as Lissy McLoud, and she's used it very well there. 41 of 27 deliveries, and if this keeps going, that'll be a problem for Thunder, but it's almost as if this is the wicket they have to get now.
Absolutely, I think she's just hit her stride so well today as Lizzie McLoud. They look to take on the pacers rather than the spinners, obviously the spinners in Fee Morris and Sophie Eccleston with the returns.
Long off's gone back as well, and McLeod's going to try and sweep. Threlkeld knocks the bails off. Another good bit of work from her. No run added to the total. 89 for 5 it stands at. And here comes Phoebe Graham. As I say, reminder that we've got games happening elsewhere, both in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, but also in with Lancashire taking place in action today as well. So we will attempt to get you a little bit of a few thoughts from the Notts Outlaws
Tara Norris
Thunder
sent out
game,
to the boundary,
which starts in around about half an hour's time. As in comes Phoebe Graham again, and this one's hit high by Surun Kumar, and it goes away into the leg side. Will this be 4? There's a sliding attempt at the stop in the distance, and it just about is successful in the end. I mean just about, as more runs added to the total. 90 for 5 now. Surun Kumar into double figures, onto 11, Ellie Indy.
Really impressive from the youngster here. Back in Lizzie McLoud in the same kind of fashion that Lizzie's playing in.
So as I say, we've got Notts Outlaws versus Lancashire Lightning taking place today. We also have 3 games in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, and 4 games in fact, including this one. And we have 2 results already, as in comes Phoebe Graham, who's hit over the offside, and that's going to be more runs for Lissy McLoud. Another boundary takes her total on to 46. Lovely stroke from Lissy McLoud, approaching what would be a fantastic half-century.
Yeah, like I say, she's just not been finding her feet in these past couple of games. As Lizzie McLoud, I think, up top, she was given the stability by Gardner, but now she's going all out with Amusa and Kumar.
Those 2 results today then. The Vipers beating Western Storm by 18 runs. The South East Stars losing to the Central Sparks by 3 wickets, as McLoud looks to go leg side, and she's certainly been less successful in this over with that method than she has been with the offside approach, which has brought her 2 boundaries. Good bowling from Phoebe Graham.
Slightly aided by the bit of a juggle from Ellie Threlkeld there.
McLoud waits, bat raised above the height of the stumps. Graham bowls, little flick round the corner, and Libby Heap is there with the fielding, and it will be a leg bye on that occasion. So 98 for 5 the total. We've had 13 overs of this. Still feels in the balance here, Ellie Indy.
I think they need some overs for the spinners, Thunder, if anything, to get it back into this game. They just seem to be attacking the paces with ease. Tara Norris, Phoebe Graham.
That's where they've had the success, isn't it? As you say, sort of Morris picking up 2 LBWs, Eccleston getting Grucock out for naught, caught by Emma Lamb. The other wicket at the top going to Eccleston as well, Gardner, and then Maddie Villiers out to Kate Cross, the only wicket to fall to seam so far. And they do go for spin here with Fee Morris, turned round the corner, and there's going to be 2 here. It wasn't very well hit. It may have even been a bit of glove or something, but it brings 2 more to Lissy McLoud, who will move on to 49. 100 up for the Sunrisers, which is why you hear the applause there as well from those on the balcony of the pavilion in the all black with the orange shoulders. Here's Lissy McLoud, driving powerfully, looking for the run for the 50. Norris going for the run out, and it was gathered by Fee Morris. Had it been a direct hit, I think Lissy McLoud would have been out, but instead she reaches a half-century, and it's a very, very well-made half-century. And The total is 101 for 5, and that has largely been built on a 50 for Lissy McLoud. It comes off 33 deliveries, and it includes 7 well-hit 4s.
She's just been on it this game, and I think apart from just then, she just looked at ease. Seeing the ball off, just complete comfort.
Here's Morris again. Bowling from the north end of Blackpool Cricket Club, where we're in this rather windy gazebo. Sneaks one past the outside edge there. And no run on offer for Surun Kumar, who needs to play the supporting role here. And perhaps in the last 2 or 3 overs, maybe even play the aggressive role. Reverse sweeps here. Reverse sweeps well. It's a vacant area down at third, and there's going to be at least 2 on offer. Tumbling stop again keeps the ball within the ropes, but Surun Kumar is through for 3 runs on that occasion. Takes total on to 104 for 5. Surun Kumar 14 now. Clever shot.
It was into the open space, bringing the fielder.
A little shout of come on Fimo from the Lancashire Thunder players. Hit into the offside, uppishly. 1 run on offer to the fielder Libby Heap, who, along with Danny Collins, has been doing the sweeping duties on the boundary here today. And Surun Kumar back onto strike, 105 for 5. Morris bowling very tidily indeed here. 2 for 22, her figures, and that'll be 2 for 23 with a single added out to Katie Mack, who had to come in from the boundary. The overseas player back in the Thunder lineup. They've been lacking one during this competition so far with the injury to Georgia Vole, but they've got Mack back in the side now. 106 for 5. Ali Indy, your thoughts?
The spin isn't aiding them too much here as it was earlier on. Just think they found the feet in this partnership. Surun Kumar through the wickets as well, so quick, getting them extra runs.
So as I say, reminder, we've got plenty of Charlotte Edwards Cup and Blast action today. Most Charlotte Edwards Cup games happening in the morning. This is the latest one to start at 1 o'clock. We still have Northern Diamonds needing 25 from 2 overs with 3 wickets remaining against the Blaze, who've been very impressive in this competition so far. And we also have Blast games starting from 2:30, including Notts Outlaws versus Lancashire Lightning. So plenty of entertainment for you on Lancs TV today. And Tara Norris will be looking to continue it from the South End here at Blackpool Cricket Club, which, as we say, last season very much became Fortress Blackpool, didn't it, Nelly Indy?
Yeah, I just think had this kind of effect on them playing at home away from Old Trafford. And they've had not so much great success at Old Trafford this year.
Here's Norris. And this one's edged. It's a thin little snicky sound as it bounces down towards Liberty Heap on the boundary at third. Had a bit of work to do to her left-hand side to pick it up and return the throw. 1 more to the total. 16 Surun Kumar now, off 11 deliveries. Useful little contribution, given she came in at the fall of the 5th wicket. Norris sending a fielder back now to long off, which I think is sensible against Lissy McLoud. She strikes it well through there.
Yeah.
May not even put her off. She's sort of been backing away, but still hitting very straight. Here comes Tara Norris. Backs away again, does McLoud. Looks to go over the leg side with a sort of bit of a baseball-style swish in the end. Doesn't make any contact. Not a bad option. There is a fielder out there at deep mid-wicket and one at long on, but dot ball on this occasion. But I think McLoud can more or less do what she wants here, given she's 51 of 35 and has been the main contributor. Tara Norris bowls to McLoud. Does go aerially into the leg side. Now, can the fielder get round? No. Has to let it bounce once in front of her. And I think that was, in the end, the wise decision. Because had that... had the attempt of the catch been made, it could have cost 4 runs from Fee Morris there.
Phoebe Graham sent out to the boundary.
The cost was 1 run, by the way, so 108 for 5. We'll keep an eye on that. Diamonds chase against the Blaze. Looks as if they're perhaps slipping to defeat as Surun Kumar attempts the ramp. Doesn't get much of it. Does get a single. Just gets a single in the end. Has to really stretch for that final yard, but makes it. And total moves on to 109 for 5. Bales have to be replaced, as they were taken in the end. Surun Kumar now has 17 with that single. Here's Lissy McLoud facing up on top of the bat before she's hit by Norris. That's a no ball signalled. So 1 more to the total. Or was it just a no, I'm happy with that from the umpire? I'm not quite sure there. I've not seen the whirly ice cream signal go. So I don't think we're on a free hit here. But I could be wrong. In comes Tara Norris. Bowls. McLoud strikes firmly through the offside and away for 4 runs. Lovely stroke again. Backing away and heading that one firmly. 4 more runs to Lissy McLoud, who has 50. Moves on from 52 to 56, and that was a very firmly hit stroke.
Seems as though there's no stopping her. I think she's just got that confidence ever since hitting that 50. She's done her job for the day, I feel, as the main contributor, but she's still got loads more to get, it seems.
Yeah, so 113 for 5. There was just, as I say, a check on a no ball in that over, but as far as I can see from the various websites and scoreboards, it was just below the waist in the end, so Norris getting away with that one eventually. And Kate Cross coming back into the fray now. What do you make of the timing of this? You've said sort of spin seems to be the way to go, but Cross is the one who's got the other wicket.
Yeah, I think may have been a bit more useful to bring her in sooner in the Graham Norris period, but we'll see how this one goes.
That flurry of wickets had sort of slightly slowed the run rate, but it's creeping up past 7.5 now for the Sunrisers. As Surun Kumar faces up, has a fielder back at long leg, which means Eccleston's had to come in at mid-on. It goes down towards backward square leg in the end, where there's also a fielder on the boundary. 1 more taken by Surun Kumar, who's making a useful contribution on to 18. 114 for 5. The game feels in the balance here, Ellie Indy.
Let's not forget I did call Kate Cross's first wicket, so I think...
Any feelings at the moment then?
She's just got that confidence about her, and when you've got that self-belief, I feel like you can make anything happen as she comes strolling in.
Stay tuned, folks, as Cross is bowling, short of length, hit into the onside. It'll just be a single out to backward square leg. 4 back on that leg side now for Lissy McLoud. It's probably the shorter of the 2 here at Blackpool. And then that extra single, 115 for 5. Here comes Kate Cross again, and Surun Kumar hit to Eccleston, who does the fielding. And it's been a steady sort of innings from Sunrisers in parts. There's been some big sixes though as well. As in comes Cross, bowls a ball that's hit to Eccleston up at long on. Another one taken, another single to the total. Another one of these sort of overs that doesn't feel it's moving the game. Very honours even in this one. 117 for 5 the total moves on to. Surun Kumar back on strike. Yeah, just the 1-6, in fact. It's felt like more than that, though, just because of the way McLeod's played. Yeah. She's gone over the top, but it's generally bounced just inside the rope. It was Villiers' 6 in the early stages of the game, the first over of the game, in fact, as that one goes through outside the blade of Surun Kumar, dot ball, 117 for 5. Late in the over again, so looking to protect the leg side boundary further with Eccleston back at long on. We also have a straight mid-wicket on the boundary, a backward square leg and a long leg. That means you've got 5 fielders up on the offside. Here comes cross. Bowl, Surun Kumar hits it towards Eccleston. He's got a bit of work to do in front of us here in the gazebo at the south end of the north end of the ground. Does it well. Returns the ball to Kate Cross. That's the end of the over. 118 for 5. The Sunrisers. We've seen Wickets first. Villiers out to Kate Cross. A big one this, out to Danny Collins in the deep, who took a good catch. We've then got the flurry of spinning wickets. First of all, Eccleston with a little one to get rid of Gardner, but then it was Fee Morris with 2 in and over, getting Grace Scrivens and Flo Miller out with 2 excellent pieces of bowling, 2 LBW decisions, before Jodie Grucock was the next victim to fall to Sophie Eccleston, clapping one into the hands of the mid-wicket fielder Emma Lamb. So those are the 5 wickets to fall. We've also seen a half-century from Lissy McLeod, who is now there on 58 with a score 118 for 5, and the game still feels in the balance here. It's a chase that Thunder won't want to get away from them too much here, as in comes Tara Norris. Bowl, short of length. Surun Kumar's gone big into the onside, and there's an attempt at a catch, and it's been put down. It was always an unlikely one. It was always one of those where the fielder was second best, and Fee Morris threw herself full length at it. Did well to get hands on that, but couldn't cling on. 120 for 5.
I think she forgets she's got overs to bowl herself, the way she throws herself about in the field.
She may even be slightly disappointed not to get that and hold on, having just got the hands there. She seemed to just get herself in a good position, but it was one where the fielder almost felt second best throughout, almost second favourite.
Yeah, like you say, lucky to get there, but wasn't in the running to get the catch there, I think.
Probably not one she'll spare too many thoughts about, you wouldn't think. 120 for 5. Tara Norris bowling to Surun Kumar, who's gone big again. Hasn't got much of this one, but it's going to land in the middle of everybody. Tara Norris getting closest to it, but also not being able to get to it. And Surun Kumar chancing her arm here and picks up another 2. And she just about, I don't think she could have got that ball more in the middle of between the bowler and the 2 fielders on the leg side if she tried.
I think that's just been the case. I think they've hit it into open pockets of space, but quite high up, giving Thunder a chance, but it just doesn't look like they're going to get there.
1-2-2 for 5. Surun Kumar has 24. Imagine she'll go again. Having got lucky twice, she'll try a 3rd time, but doesn't connect. And Threlkeld able to gather and ensure it's a dot ball, which is precious at this stage, with just 3.5 overs of the innings remaining. As I say, it's going to be above 1 a ball now, because the score's 1-2-2, but it's just how much above 1 a ball it gets now.
And it feels like you say, those are nothing overs that Kate Cross just bowled. That's actually quite a big win, considering she only went for 5 runs.
Here's Eccleston. Surun Kumar up over the field that's up on the offside, and that's going to go all the way for 4 runs into the little steel railings in front of the stand. 4 more signalled, 126 for 5. And Surun Kumar has decided this was her point in the game to go. Didn't really get hold of the first 2, but that one, she's advanced down the track slightly with a bit of room and swished it over the infield on the offside and away for 4. Lovely stroke.
Against the wind as well, which is quite strong here today at Blackpool.
Yep, it's blowing across us from west to east. As from the south end, in runs Norris. Bowls, attempt to flick that one away. Took mainly pads, I think. We'll keep an eye on the umpire's signal. No, didn't take anything. It must have been Threlkeld's pads. It was a wide ball. 127 for 5, plus the run that they took makes it 128 for 5. Fairly quiet at the moment on the Sunrisers' balcony. They're just probably contemplating how many their team can get to. But this chase is looking like it could be a formidable one for Thunder if McLeod and Surun Kumar continue. again, just wanting that fielder on the boundary slightly further round behind square. Norris happy now, on her way. Delivers. McLoud backs away and hits it up to long off, where there is protection. And there will only be one run. She strikes the ball very sweetly through that area. 59 now off 41 for McLoud. So she'll be wanting to find the boundary a few more times in the remainder of this innings.
Absolutely. There's nothing to gain from a personal milestone standpoint, and I think there's no harm in getting any more runs than there already is. Like you say, well over one a ball.
Yeah, it'd be quite something to get the 41 for the 100, wouldn't it, from here? As Surun Kumar goes high into the leg side again. This will bounce well in front of Fee Morris this time, and there'll be two more. Surun Kumar will be quite happy with those two more to the total. It's been a good over for her. She found the boundary once in it, and she picked up 3 twos as well. So a very, very good over indeed. Tara Norris has taken a bit of tap today, which is unusual to say. 131 for 5 then. Surun Kumar on to 30. As you see in there, the run rate rising here for the Sunrisers. And they might even be just thinking they can get up towards that 150 mark at the top of that chart that we've seen between overs there, Ellie and Dee.
It would have been near impossible. The way they're both hitting it has been quite spectacular to watch. And like I say, we've got Amara Carr, Sophie Monroe, Eva Gray to come for the Sunrisers as well, who are fairly decent hitters of the ball in their own right.
Yeah, Sophie Monroe certainly strikes a clean ball, that's for sure. And a result between the Blaze and the Northern Diamonds, as this one is driven neatly by McLoud, but without too much to the total, so she's on to 60 with that single. So that result sees the Blaze winning by 13 runs against the Northern Diamonds. So the victors today, Central Sparks, the Blaze, and the Southern Vipers, as swept hard out towards the boundary. Oh, and it's taken a horrible little bounce for Fee Morris, who's had to dive to her right to prevent the ball getting past her. It was a spectacular bit of fielding in the end that perhaps didn't look like it was going to need to be at first. 133 for 5. So it probably shows how many revs Sophie Eccleston gets on the ball, that it's still spinning even when it reaches the fielder. McLeod down the track, it's taken on the pad. Eccleston had taken the pace of the ball well, looks to affect the run out and does. Really good little bit of work from Sophie Eccleston there, who's a tall figure and had to be agile on her feet to pick up the ball in the right hand and knock the bails off and end the innings of Lissy McLeod, which has been a very, very impressive one indeed, Ellie Indy. 60 runs to her name today before she was run out looking for quick runs towards the end.
No shame in getting out like that. I think getting the runs on the board. Kate Cross sending her off there.
Yeah, it was a little pat on the back, wasn't it?
Nice camaraderie. As Eva, is that Eva? America comes to the crease.
Yep, to join Surun Kumar. I think she may well here, America, just be thinking I might give Surun Kumar the strike and let her try and do what she did in the previous over, but it's more difficult against Sophie Eccleston, who affects the run out there. Makes it 133 for 6, crucially. So already quite a chase for Thunder, but we'll see how they go about it. They've been struggling a little for runs this season. But details of that Lissy McLeod innings. 60 runs in 43 balls, 65 minutes, 8 fours before being run out by a combination of Threlkeld and Eccleston. As this one's flicked away by Surun Kumar, she's going to be looking for 2. It's going to be difficult to get there. She's going to go for it, and she's going to be run out too. So run outs in successive deliveries. Applause for the return there from the boundary. It's Katie Mack with a low, hard return. Never really looked like 2 to me, that Ellie Indy, and that's quite disappointing from a Sunrise perspective. They've lost both their batters who were in at the crease in successive deliveries there. 133 for 7 now.
Still 2 overs to go and runs to be had, so I think this approach, losing McLeod and Surun Kumar, is slightly extreme.
It's a little bit careless, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and especially when you've got 2 batters that are hitting it well. You know, you don't need to go for those extra runs if you can hit it well like that. So I think it's just more pressure on Amara Carr now and Eva Gray.
Yeah, there was almost a look on Amara Carr's face, I think, as she turned to come back for the second. We've seen a little split screen of it as well, as I'm sure you just have it at home, as if to say, there. Are you sure? Are you sure we're coming back for 2 here? Anyway, the details of Sun Kumar's innings, 31 runs. She faced 23 balls, 30 minutes and hit 2 fours. It's actually been credited as Fee Morris there, so maybe Morris who got to the ball first and returned that one. Either way, it was definitely run out by the time it reached the gloves of Threlkeld, who'd thrown the ball for the run out from the previous delivery. An appeal for LBW, and this is a team hat-trick, because Sophie Eccleston has picked up an LBW now, and Eva Gray is out, and this Sunrisers innings, which was looking very, very well placed indeed, is collapsing in a bit of a heap. 133 for 8, and 2 run-outs and a bowled for Sophie Eccleston, a team hat-trick for Lancashire Thunder.
And there's still a very real possibility of them being bowled out here. I wouldn't say 133 is enough. I think the Thunder will be in with a chance, especially with that extra batting option with Libby Heap coming into the side for Sophie Morris. So
the thing they've done well is just when Sunrisers have looked like getting away from them, they've managed to restrict the total with wickets. And all of a sudden, Sunrisers are probably going to have to play bat on ball until at least the end of this over, if not the end of the next over. Just keep the singles ticking all of a sudden, and then maybe have a go in the final over.
Which I suppose emphasises the ridiculousness of those McLeod and Surun Kumar run-outs.
They've done a lot well in this innings, haven't they, Sunrise?
Yeah.
Good power play, good partnership between McLeod and Surun Kumar when they found themselves 5 down. But they've also done a lot badly. They've lost wickets in clumps as Monroe faces up. Relatively tall figure, although not as tall as Eccleston, who's bowling to it. And that is going to be a dot ball to start with from Sophie Monroe, but doing the sensible thing, I felt there, playing bat and ball. So they've got another 6 balls here where, for me, they've got to be a little careful not to lose another wicket, and then they can really go for it in the final over. Or do you think they'll go earlier than that?
You have to be sensible now. I think you've only got 2 more wickets, and when you know that Thunder haven't been performing as well with the bat, you've got to consider the fact that you've got to put up a high target, I think, as well.
Yeah, almost get your 140 and then go from there and see how many you can add to it.
Because this is still a very reachable target for them, I feel, despite the batting woes.
Here comes Phoebe Graham. Tough time to bowl, but that's down the leg side to start with, and it's a free ball and a free run from the Sunrisers' perspective. 135 for 8. Plenty of encouragement for Phoebe Graham. And Phoebe G's on her way once more. Bowls short of length, just tapped behind square on the offside. Heap there with the fielding, single to the total. Scampering through for that first run of the innings. Brings Sophie Monroe on strike. It's wearing 28 at Sunrisers, or 22 at the Blaze. Graham bowls, short of length, off the outside edge, and that one's going to escape down towards us, is it? No, great stop by Libby Heap, getting across with almost the wrong hand, if you like, almost her right hand, even though the ball was to her left. But she managed to do very well indeed there, and prevent another run being added to the total. Or more than just the 1 run, should we say. In comes Phoebe Graham again. Down goes Mara Carr, plays a neat little ramp shot and diverts it away for another single. So 138 for 8, I make that. Phoebe Graham back to the top of her mark. Bowls and hit high into the air over the top of Eccleston, and they're going to look for 2 here. Monroe with the clean strike there does add 2 runs, so that brings up that 140 now for the loss of 8 wickets for the Sunrisers. So it's going to be at least 7s the chase, and how many more than that we will find out in the remaining deliveries we've got left here. Phoebe Graham about to deliver the 8th from last. It's straight in at Munro, full toss in the end, looking to just cramp her for room. Still gets it into the leg side and still going to pick up 2. That's good running. 142 for 8, and it was good placement in the end there from Sophie Munro.
Yeah, similar to a few overs ago. And losing McLoud, chip one there. No one wanted to catch that.
So Munro here, trying to add a useful little contribution. She has 5. Faced up again. Hits hard again into the leg side, but sort of towed it, so it took a bit of the pace off the ball. Back for 2, though. Threlkeld a little disappointed not to affect the run out, but it was never really on. 144 for 8.
The throw just a bit too wayward for Ellie Threlkeld to reach there.
They played that well for me, Sunrisers, there. First half of the over there, I mean, they got the bonus of the wide to start it, but then getting 3 1s and then 3 2s.
Just keeping the runs going, yeah, that's so important in the final overs because...
But they sort of almost kind of doubled their luck in the second half of the over, didn't they? Kind of having got bat and ball for 1s. Kate Cross is going to finish the innings then for Lancashire Thunder. You've been seeing the lovely shots of Blackpool Cricket Club between the overs there. Check of the guard from Amara Carr. She can't really use that ramp, you wouldn't have thought, unless she can get it offside. Thirds up and long legs back. But she does go down looking to sweep, and there's an appeal for a stumping, and it's out. Oh. Well, I'm quite surprised by that in the end. It looked as if Amara Carr hadn't left her ground, but she must have done, and Ellie Threlkeld with some fantastically quick gloves is able to knock the bails off and give Kate Cross a wicket. Unless it just glanced the bail on the way through. Who knows? Let's we will have a look on the replay at this one as went right across the stumps and just lost her off bail in the end. So that was a slightly bizarre one. It looked as if Threlkeld had taken the bails, but it was and it was the way she appealed to the square leg umpire. But in the end, it was a straightforward bolt from Kate Cross, and she gets out Amara Carr from the first ball of the final over. Sends Nick Hancock to the crease, who is the overseas player for Sunrisers. Melbourne born, has represented Melbourne Renegades as well as Brisbane Heat, making the final of the Women's Big Bash League. And played against...
The announcer just making it very clear.
Yeah, well, it was the appeal, I think, towards square leg from Threlkeld that fooled us a little bit as Kate Cross bowls and it's chopped into the ground. There's all sorts of confusion about whether there's a run or not. And it ends up not being a run. Sophie Munro returning to her ground. 144 for 9 is where it remains. Here comes Cross again. In an overcast Blackpool, quite cool day. And this one's off the top edge, and it's going to go down towards the boundary, and those will be frustrating runs from a Thunder perspective. It rolls halfway up the bank in the end, and 4 more to the total, 148 for 9. And there's not a lot you can do about runs like that, but they're frustrating nonetheless.
From a Thunder's perspective, absolutely, but for the Sunrisers, it's that little last bit effort that they'll be wanting from the final 2 batters.
Yeah, I suppose if you've just outside edged it, they're very useful runs indeed. As in comes Cross, bowls to Hancock, who's hitting this one hard down the ground to long off. Tara Norris there with the fielding, and just won the damage off that particular delivery. 149 for 9. As Cross to the back of her mark again. Munro just makes the bowler wait a moment and then tries to hit one over the onside, misses it completely. It goes through outside the off stump, and Threlkeld there with the gloves as always. So the chase, 150 at the moment. How many will be added from the final delivery?
It doesn't matter where they hit it, they've got to go for the run here.
what can Munro produce off the last ball of the innings? She hits it hard into the leg side, Mack across and gets a hand on it and keeps it within the ropes and keeps the scoring to just the 2. So 151-for-9 the score. Ellie Indy, your quick thoughts on that?
Lizzie McLoud leading from the start I thought was incredible. I think she took some time, but as soon as she started to get going, I think that was really impressive. It was the spinners really today for Thunder, in Sophie Eccleston and Fee Morris. Kate Cross with slight impact there, and obviously the run-outs coming in. Eccleston's over the team hat-trick.
Yep, so the players making their way off the field there. As you say, Ellie Indy, a team hat-trick in there. 2 wickets and an over from Fee Morris for Thunder. So some decent bowling figures. Eccleston 3 for 18, 2 for 31 for Kate Cross and 2 for 24 from Fee Morris, as we begin to see the wickets coming up here. But from a Sunrisers' perspective, it was the innings of Lizzie McLoud, 60 of 43 balls, that's taken them to a total of 151. 152 then will be the chase here at Blackpool for Lancashire Thunder to beat the Sunrisers, and we will be able to bring you that on Lancs TV, find out how Lancashire Thunder get on here at a ground which was a fortress for them last season, as we just see that team hat-trick being completed once more by Sophie Eccleston. Do make sure you rejoin us for the second part of this game for the Lancashire Thunder chase. They will be requiring 152 for victory.
(1864). We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Connor Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
Will these two stay out there after a drink? And that's a huge sip. Over to the Hilton review system. 3 reds, no doubt at all. And up goes the finger. When it has to be absolutely plum, it matters where you stay.
Hi, I'm Keaton, and this is Luke. We are the giraffe opening pair at Lancashire Cricket Club. We are here today at the Mestoria Estate Agents. Let's see what they have in store for us. One of the highlights for me probably was making my Test debut. You aspire to play international cricket, and I think for me, making that Test debut in Mumbai was a special moment I think I'll look back on.
Property is potentially an option that, well, I've already started to go down. I'd like to explore more options in the future for sure. I've seen how positive an investment strategy that can be.
If I could, I'd get a little clay pigeon shot up in the garden. I'm not entirely sure the neighbours would be all too happy with it, but yeah, a little clay pigeon trap.
The idea of dealing with the day-to-day stress of everything that comes with being a landlord isn't something that I would necessarily want to be a part of, to be honest. So using an experienced agent like Mestoria would definitely be something I'd be interested in.
I think it's not devilishly good looks, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure where the reference comes from.
I think it's fairly self-explanatory.
I think just making sure the advice you're getting is aligned with the goals. It's a big investment, it's a large chunk of your savings, so to make sure it's taken care of and taken care of in a really sort of professional manner.
So bits of it, but the heritage of the club is actually everywhere you look. So there will be a new heritage of the club that was done over last year. So many of things. They're both.
Hi Noah. Nice to meet you.
Can you believe it? No. I can't stop smiling. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, that's it.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone. All over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All welcome, all invited. Even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained. And all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. Tap, ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
2 local favourites are staying at the Hilton Garden Inn. She's gone for the chip. My goodness me. It's over to the Hilton review system. A big bite. Gone! When lunch is the best part of the day, it matters where you stay.
1954, Cyril Washbrook became the first professional captain of the county.
Lancashire have won a tremendous victory here. Indeed he has, and he's great. What a moment.
Well, the real thrust of that innings came from Hagen's Fairbrother.
Fine chance to run to the winning hit. On come the crowd.
Well, welcome back to Lancashire Thunder versus Sunrisers, where the chase will be 1-5-2 for Lancashire Thunder to win this game. A little bit of weather around, but it's not affected the game so far. Just noticing in the early stages at Trent Bridge, we have seen a wicket falling, so Lancashire Thunder's game is underway. Luke Wood there already amongst the wickets. And it's a run out, in fact, that we're seeing over there at Trent Bridge, and we're ready to get this innings underway here at Blackpool with the first ball just through outside the off stump and evading the outside edge. So a run out there early on for Notts Outlaws, who find themselves 4 for 1 in their game against Lancashire Thunder. It's Clark, the batter, out for naught there, thanks to a good throw from Wells. A dot ball here for Emma Lamb, in fact successive dot balls for Emma Lamb to start their pursuit of 152 for the Lancashire Thunder to beat the Sunrisers. It's Jodie Grucock starting the bowling, and Lamb will get a very, very sharp single to start off her innings here. She's opening the batting with Fee Morris, the pair scampering between the wickets. You're with Mike Perkins and Ellie Indy here on Lancs TV. Cricket content creator Ellie Indy. What are you thinking in these early stages from a Thunder perspective? They need to get a fairly good start, I would imagine.
I think Emma Lamb is traditionally the power hitter, and I think Fee Morris as well, to be fair. But Jodie Grucock is a sensational young bowler at the moment.
Delivers here a ball that's just pushed down the offside and fielded for a dot ball to start Fee Morris's innings.
2 for 18 in her last game against South East Stars. She's really economical bowler, is Jodie Grucock.
Outside the off stump, slashed away into the offside, out to the cover fielder, Flo Miller, and that is 1 to Morris's account. So another 150 needed, 2 without loss, the score here. Yeah, I mean, Lamb tends to try and stay around the 1 a ball mark, doesn't she, and just keep her innings moving for as long as she can that way before going big at the end, whereas Fee Morris looks to find the boundaries early on quite often. That kept quite low from Grucock and was fended away off the stumps for a single by Emma Lamb, just finding the gap. 3 without loss then at the end of the first over. The par score on DLS at this stage is 5. But remember, Sunrisers took 11 from their first over. So in terms of count back, Thunder find themselves a little behind, but perhaps taking a different approach, a more watchful approach to begin with there.
I think now they kind of know what their target is. I think they've figured out a approach. As Maddie Villiers comes on, she'll be very interesting.
So, as I say, we've got multiple games going on this afternoon involving Lancashire Thunder playing here, and Lancashire Lightning getting a second wicket against Notts Outlaws in the Vitality Blast. This occasion, as you were seeing there, it's a catch behind and a flick into the onside doesn't bring too much reward back here at Blackpool. As we say, Fortress Blackpool last season, but Thunder have got some work to do this time, as there was an attempt to sort of charge down the pitch, but it was rather aborted by Emma Lamb and couldn't be gathered cleanly behind the stumps by Amara Carr. So a dot ball the result of all that. Villiers to Lamb. Lamb looks for the reverse sweep and hits it quite nicely, and it's going to be a chase on down towards the boundary here. Picked up just inside the rope, and 2 added to the total. And Kopak.
Now, she wasn't named in our starting 11, so I believe she may have come on for somebody here.
Yeah, and certainly wasn't on my list either, so we'll see if she is a sub-fielder. Tapped into the offside for a single, and total moves on to 6 without loss there. Emma Lamb again profiting, she's on to 5. You'd never know on a cold day like this if somebody's not wearing somebody else's jumper, but that definitely looked like 11 Kate Kopak to me, chasing that one down towards the 3rd boundary at the start of this over. Here comes Villiers again. Bowls. This one's hit into the leg side and away for 4 runs. And that's the first boundary of the Thunder innings. It was needed, to be honest, at this stage, but Fee Morris has found a route to that leg side boundary. 10 without loss. The pass score at the end of the over would be 11. So I think Thunder will be quite happy with that boundary, taking them to more or less where they need to be. Villiers again. Bowls. Morris on the reverse sweep. She likes that shot. Picks up a single for it. Does take the Lancashire Thunder score on to 11. It's exactly what Sunrisers made off their very first over of the innings, but by the second over of the innings, the rate had been slightly slowed by a good Kate Cross over. So in the blast, Notts Outlaws 6 for 2. They have Hurst and catching Young off the bowling of Mahmood there, and a run out for Wells. Here, Lancashire Thunder without loss, 11 runs to their pursuit of 152 here at a chilly Blackpool, but nonetheless
at a quick glance,
Blackpool.
It looks like Kate Kopak has replaced Amu Surunkumar, who would have been bowling in this innings, I would assume. Can't see her out on the field.
Good detective work there from Ellie Indy to decipher that one. So Surunkumar has come into the side today, made an enterprising little innings as well, that was very useful in support of Lissy McLeod. Is not come out to field. Eva Gray, though, has, and she has the ball in hand and will be delivering it from the south end of Blackpool Cricket Club to Fee Morris, who defends into the offside. And there's no run on offer on that occasion to Sophie Monroe at cover. So yeah, good bit of detective work there. Surunkumar made 32 from 23 deliveries before being run out, but doesn't appear to have come out to have fielded in this innings. 152 then the chase, as in comes Eva Gray. Bowls to Fee Morris, takes an inside part of the bat, and out it goes towards the square leg boundary. There'll be a single added to the total. 12 without loss, the score moving on to. Pass score at the end of this over would be 17, provided there's not a loss of a wicket. And in terms of the comparison, at the end of the third over, 23 for 1 was the Sunrisers score. Tossing the ball one hand to the other is Eva Gray. A little surprised we didn't see more of her in the Rachel Hare Flint Trophy. Took career best figures at the back end of last season in that competition, as this one's flicked away by Emma Lamb, and that was an important win over the Blaze as the Sunrisers built their confidence for this campaign. They look very good in the 50 over format. They've struggled a little more in the T20 format, but they have 2 wins now, so that leaves them in with a chance of getting into that top 4. But they probably, with Sparks winning today, having lost on Saturday, would need a win here, as would Thunder, who are looking to do the same thing, having won 2 games. Takes Morris on the pads, goes down to third, where Lissy McLeod, the top scorer of the first innings with 60, does the fielding. 1 leg by to the total. 14 without loss. Runs go to the extras column rather than Fee Morris. Emma Lamb stabs at the pitch. A couple of birds soar on the breeze in the distance. Here is Lamb waiting. poised, looking for a chance to score. Claps it into the onside, behind square in the end for 1. There is a fielder out there on the boundary. Moves the score well ahead of the DLS par to 15. 11 reminders what they needed, but after that good first over, Sunrisers had 23 at the end of the third over. So ahead on one count, but behind on the other, I suppose you'd say. And it was a good power play from Sunrisers.
Indeed.
48 for 2, I can see scribbled on Ellie Indy's notes next to me, as that one's just worked away behind square on the leg side. A little bit of bat I felt was involved, but the umpire disagrees and taps the knee. So 16 without loss. So, as I say, sort of 7 behind compared to the Sunrisers score, but ahead on DLS, if my calculations are correct. In fact, no, they're not. So they're 1 behind on DLS. 17 would be the par score.
Yeah, you can't really tell if it's just really good bowling or if the player is still assessing the conditions out there. I think McLoud, naturally, she does that anyway. Fee Morris, you usually see her get off the mat quite quickly. So it's been quite conservative play, really, from the Thunder, as I believe that's Nick Hancock coming on.
It is Nick Hancock, who was involved in the Women's Big Bash League final with Melbourne Renegades. She was on the losing side, though, in that final, but did bowl a relatively decent spell of 23 for 3 from 4 overs. So she's at the back of her run now as the Australian. And is going to run in with those yellow and orange sleeves to this black Sunrisers strip. Bowls and it's hit high straight away and out to the boundary. And it bounces just the once in the end. No, it doesn't. It goes all the way. It clears the rope. It's gone beyond those flags and away for 6 runs. Brilliant shot from Fee Morris. Decided she needs to get on with it. And boy, did she get on with it. Really clapping Nick Hancock over the rope.
I believe that was also collected by the Upson.
Here comes Hancock to bowl to Morris, who felt she couldn't reach that one outside the off stump, so it remains 22 without loss. 13 off 10 now for Fee Morris. Lovely stroke, that one.
Yeah. Starting to get into it now, I feel, for the Thunder.
It certainly bounced in front of the fencing, but it cleared the flags, crucially, for 6 runs. Morris again waits. Red brick wall behind her. In the all red of Lancashire Thunder, she strikes one down the ground and it's not fielded cleanly. So Gardner couldn't quite gather in her stride. And that's another single to the total, 23 without loss. Good over from Fee Morris and real intent shown against Nick Hancock there, the overseas.
Yeah, and you could see the frustration on Joe Gardner there. I think every run counts here now. I think they are well in with a chance and they think that too.
1-5-2 the chase, remember here, as this one's prodded into the offside. Lamb will take a single. Gets it up to mid-off in the end. Delicate little shot. 24 without loss. Hancock receives the ball. Reminder the earlier games in this competition, resulting in wins for Vipers, Sparks and the Blaze. So that sort of taking those top 4 positions a little away from these sides, as that one's played away beautifully for 4 runs. Whisked away by Fee Morris for a second boundary of the over. This time it definitely did bounce within the ropes, but they're 4 valuable runs nonetheless. 28 without loss, and this is the over Morris has decided to attack, and she's attacked it well.
Yeah, I think Thunder have had the luxury of, I guess, these 2 batters have stayed in for so long, whereas in comparison to Sunrisers, Maddie Villiers, while getting off the mat very quickly, was out also very quickly.
Well, they've definitely passed their par score on DLS this time, because that would be 23, and they're going to add potentially 4 more here with this sliced top edge from Morris. Probably the most fortuitous of the boundaries in the over, but she hits 3 of them in the over. 22 off 13 for her, 32 without loss at the end of the 4th. The par score would be 23, so they will be very, very happy indeed with that. 35 for 1 was the Sunrisers score at this stage. As the helmet is brought back in by Amara Cart, we have a wicket again at Trent Bridge being taken between the Notts Outlaws and the Lancashire Lightning. So Notts Outlaws losing their 3rd wicket. This time sliced out to the 3rd boundary for another catch. So Lancashire Lightning going well against the Notts Outlaws, and Lancashire Thunder going well here against Sunrisers at Fortress Blackpool as Emma Lamb gets through for the single. 33 without loss. I'm not sure if that's official vocab guidelines to call it Fortress Blackpool, but it certainly felt like that last year when they won the games against Stars and Vipers.
If they keep playing this way, I don't see why it can't be this year.
Morris just assessing her options, and she goes for the sweep in the end off Grucock's bowling and is sent back by Emma Lamb. I think wisely in the end, because I don't think Lamb would have got anywhere near there, and Morris does regain her ground. Dot ball. Here is Grucock again, right arm over the wicket. Little off spinner bowled and hit away by Morris on the cut out to Flo Miller. Happy for 1 on this occasion. So 34 without loss. Confirmation of that wicket of Alex Hales in the blast game. It was caught by Blatherwick off the bowling of Mahmood for 4. So Notts Outlaws 22 for 3 and in a bit of trouble in the power play there. Lancashire Thunder making their way through this with no run on offer on that occasion. But Lamb will just settle into her work. Probably about a boundary behind where she wants to be, but we know she can pick those up with a fair bit of regularity. So settles for another single into the offside here out to Flo Miller. 152 the target. The total moves on to 35. Fairly tense at present here. As the ball again tossed from one hand to the other by Grucock, who runs in and delivers. Cut down into the ground. Lissy McLeod, who got 60 in the first innings with the fielding. 36 then without loss at the end of the over. Ellie Indy, your thoughts?
Jodie Grucock, I thought she would be being really restrictive on the Thunder there. I think they've been able to take quite a lot out of Nick Hancock and Maddie Villiers, but unable really to defeat the young Jodie Grucock.
Another 116 required for victory. It's going to be Villiers to come back in. Sunrisers going to spin very early in this chase here. Is that perhaps what you were saying about that's where the wickets had gone in the first
Yeah,
innings?
I had noticed that because obviously Thunder adopted for Tara Norris and Phoebe Graham up front and Kate Cross, but I think this is a predominantly spin side anyway.
So they'll be happy that they can use their strongest
Yeah,
suit, essentially.
exactly. I think the pitch is reacting really well to that.
Villiers bowls down the leg side. Bale's knocked off, but it will be a wide ball. So another one of that pursuit of 152 added to the total. Another 115 required as a couple of spectators make their way along the red brick wall in the distance as this one's clipped behind square on the leg side by Morris. So she's on to 25, looking in control. She'll be quite content having made 42, I think it was, against Northern Diamonds here last season. She'll feel she sort of knows the ground and knows the conditions after that innings. Villiers again bowls, and this one's played relatively softly into the leg side by Lamb, but it allows her to scamper through for that single because the fielders were on the back of the ring. 39 without loss. Grucock slightly disappointed she couldn't stop that single, but was never really going to. Here comes Villiers again. Bowls to Morris, who's down the track. There's a big appeal for LBW, and it's going to be a run out.
Oh.
Well, Lamb sent Morris back, who I think sort of just lost their bearings a little bit, having been hit on the pad, advancing down the track. And Fee Morris is out for 25, an enterprising 25, including a 6 and a 4, but a disappointing end to it in the end. It was a big appeal for LBW, and there was a little bit in it when I was looking at that replay there, Ellie Indy, but that's a disappointing way for Fee Morris's innings to end.
It seemed like them two struggled for that communication between the wickets early on. Katie Mack on now, scored 1 in the last game, so they'll really need Emma Lamb to step up here after Katie Mack's uninspiring innings last time out.
Yeah, she struggled last time, but I mean, perhaps not surprising given she's kind of been called back from Aussie to to come and sort of, I suppose, in some ways, kind of fill a little bit of a gap that was left with Georgia Voll's stint being a bit shorter than expected. So it's good that they've got an overseas in the team, and we know Katie Mack likes to use her feet, and we'll expect to see that early on here against the spin of Villiers. But she's just going to assess her options to begin with. It was, by her own admission, an innings where she took a while to get going against Sunrisers last time, but she won't have that luxury this time, so she'll have to go straight away. Starts with the dot ball, forced off the back foot back to the bowler. 1-5-2 the chase, 39 for 1. Matt gets down and sweeps that one behind square, picks up her first run. Thought about looking for 2 because she's very quick between the wickets and she saw the misfield from Gray, but just settles for the 1 in the end. So 40 for 1. The wicket affecting that DLS par as well, of course. So we'll be looking towards the end of the power play, the 6th over, with 1 wicket down. 39 is where they'd want to be. So they're going to, provided they don't lose a wicket, be that, and they add another single with a tuck into the leg side in front of square by Emma Lamb. So 41 for 1, ahead on the DLS par, but a few runs behind compared to that 48 for 2 that Sunrisers had. Your thoughts, Elliot?
Yeah, well, the Sunrisers lost more wickets, obviously. Maddie Villiers went out quite early with that 11 off 6, but they made that impact in the sense, whereas Thunder have been slightly more sluggish for runs than Sunrisers were in their power play, and I think that's why the Sunrisers were able to extract more runs, if that makes sense, because they came out and just had that intent to hit. Yeah,
and sort of exemplifying what Ellie was saying there, you were seeing on the graphics, just slightly behind really on the comparison here, Thunder. But interestingly, I mean, 44 would be the score for 2 wickets down, so Sunrisers were kind of only just ahead if they were almost chasing their own DLS par score as well. Sophie Munro into the attack. We're on the south end of Blackpool Cricket Club, short of a length and hit away by Emma Lamb out to the leg side. There is a fielder back there. Lamb's going to come back for 2, and she's going to get there with a little bit of a stretch of the arm to ensure she makes her ground. So 43 for 1 the score, and Thunder, as we say, were ahead at the beginning of this over, or at the end of the power play, however you want to look at it, on that DLS par. We don't think it's going to come into play unless one of these grey clouds above us turns a bit darker and brings a bit of rain, as that one's into the leg side. That's well caught. Brilliant bit of fielding away to the left-hand side, and that is a really, really good catch by Kopak, I think, who is on as the sub-fielder, and did very, very well indeed to get away to her left-hand side at mid-wicket. It was an uppish little chip by Emma Lamb. We've heard she can go aerially in that direction, and teams look to target it. Well, it's been her downfall today. Emma Lamb out for 14, just chipping the ball to Kate Kopak. The score 43 for 2.
Yeah, again, I think Thunder now starting to fall behind the standards of Sunrisers there. A brilliant catch from Kate Kopak coming on for Amusa and Kumar.
And she'd have been disappointed not to be in the starting 11 today, Kate Kopak, but she will be quite happy to have come on and contribute. I suppose it shows you've got to always be ready.
Yeah, she hasn't played in the last 3 games, which is a bit unusual for the new ball bowler, but...
So score on the blast game, 23 for 3 is the latest I'm getting from that one. And here, 43 for 2. Sophie Munro getting Emma Lamb caught by Katie Kopak in at mid-wicket. Here comes Munro again, flicked away by Seren Smale. There's going to be 1 on offer. They don't come back for 2. So Mack and Smale at the crease together and having to drive things on now for Thunder. How do you assess their chances here, Ellie?
Seren Smale, I think, was really impressive in the Under-19 World Cup, and we know what she can do. Come on and get the runs for Thunder.
Here comes Sophie Munro to complete this over. Here's Munro again. Bowls, and this one's chopped into the leg side behind square, and Matt will get back for 2 runs, 2 valuable runs. 46 for 2 the total moves on to. And Munro takes the ball at the back of her mark again. And will. Here comes Sophie Munro again. And through outside the off stump that goes, just beating the back of Katie Mack. Just flashing past that outside edge.
Cries if it's out from the Sunrisers camp.
And Mack just assessing her options once more. Feels a lot rests on the overseas here in this pursuit of 152. Munro with her extra cover striding towards the back of the ring now. Bowls, and again beats the outside edge of Katie Mack. Really good bowling that from Sophie Munro. Not only picking up the wicket of Lamb, but then beating the outside edge of Katie Mack. Ellie and Dee.
They're starting to fall behind the Thunder, and that's just going to keep on creeping up on them. I think the run rate is at 6.5, but they need 8 and over now. Target of 152.
Yeah, it's a lot to be discussed between overs, between Smale and Mack, who've just come together in the middle and are going to attempt to get those 8 runs required in the over, as Grucock just coming on from this north end where we're sat, so a slightly different approach being attempted here by Grucock. Be interesting to see what that produces for her. Again, just throws a couple of off spinners in the direction of their colleague at mid-off, and will try to get her team another wicket in this game. Flicked away, and that will be 1 and possibly 2 now, as it's beaten the hand of Hancock, and Smale happy to come back, and that's good running from this pair. That's exactly what they've got to be doing at this stage, putting the pressure back on the fielders. 48 for 2.
Bit of a slow effort from Hancock in the field there, just jogging towards the ball. I think didn't realise what was going on in the middle there.
Grucock tosses the ball one hand to the other. Ball short of length. Just fiddled away by Smale. Won't get back for 2 this time. It was actually the misfield really that slowed the ball up and allowed the... it sort of hampered the efforts of the on-rushing fielder there. 49 for 2 then. Lancashire Thunder versus Sunrisers in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Both sides needing the win to keep pace with the top 4 positions and leave themselves in with a chance of finals day. Grucock bowls. Down the track comes Matt. Cleverly manages to work it behind square on the leg side, which is a vacant area more or less, bar the fielder from backward square leg who makes their way round off the rope. 2 more added to the total. Katie Mack, who was part of the Adelaide Strikers, who won the Women's Big Bash League out in Australia. Facing again is Mack. Grucock bowls. Mack into the leg side where Kopak, who took the catch in the previous over, is again down onto her knees to do the fielding. Here comes Grucock. The 101 required for victory by Lancashire Thunder. And there's the one. Just hit down to Joe Gardner at long gone. So another single added to the total. Just ticking along at the moment, Ellie.
Yeah, I think Grucock's been really influential here for the Sunrisers.
Delivers again and is driven smoothly by Seren Smale, but just for one run. So 52 for 2 the score at the end of the 9th over, and we have another wicket falling at Trent Bridge. Luke Wells this time, the man with the bowling, and manages to get the 4th wicket to fall there for Notts Outlaws. So back here at Blackpool, all looking relatively in the balance, I would say, Ali, Indy. I think 52 for 2, there's a bit of a chance here.
I think they need to start getting going. I think there's been a lot of running between the wickets and no real intent shots at the moment for Thunder.
As Sophie Monroe is going to come on into the attack. As Sophie Monroe bowls, and it's hit Seren Smale on the pad there, I think. Maybe just got a little bit of pad involved, and manages to take the single round the corner in the end. 54 for 2 the score moves on to. Just struggling with a little bit of internet here in Blackpool. Sophie Monroe is going to continue from the far end here, from the south end, to bowl to Katie Mack, and whisked it away into the leg side. And that one's going to go out towards the boundary. One more added, so 55 for 2. Ellie and D, your thoughts?
Sophie Monroe's been quite influential as well. Really economical over, and obviously with a wicket in her spell. She's got Amara Carr back, away from the stumps there. She comes
on her way again is Monroe, and delivers to Smale, who's gone big and over the top, over long on. This one's going to be 4 runs, I would imagine. There's a big chase back towards the bank in the distance, but it doesn't reel the ball in time. So 59 for 2 as the Sunrisers are able to are given a bit of a problem here by that shot over the top, and a lovely stroke from Seren Smale, who waits once more, and it's bowled short of a length, tapped into the onside, and another single taken. 60 for 2 the total moves on to. So some progress being made here by Lancashire Thunder. 152, remember the targets. They just need to up the rate a little bit. They're managing to keep it around 8s, though, here, Ellie.
Yep, as Lizzie McLeod comes in from the boundary.
Yeah, some work to do for Lizzie McLeod, who made 60 in the first innings. But again, just getting that ball to jag away, Sophie Monroe, and it's proving a very effective method at the moment.
I think I heard a little nick there, but there's a reason I'm sat here and I'm not in the middle as an umpire.
Yeah, I think certainly looking at it again on the slight delay, it seemed to miss by a good way in the end, but it was a very good delivery as well. Just managed to work its way through as this one is played down behind square. 1 run on offer. As that latest over the night comes to an end, 61-4-2. We'll get you the latest from Trent Bridge at the end of the 10th over of this game. But here, Thunder just falling behind that rate, as you were saying, Ellie Indy. They're up around 7s, but they kind of need to get up around 8s. How are they going to achieve that?
I think more shots like what Seren Smales just produced over the bowler's head for 4. They need that bit of impetus to get themselves back into this game, because it does feel like Sunrisers have the edge at the moment.
Here's Grucock, who will bowl a ball that's reverse swept by Katie Mack, but it was a standing sweep in the end of the bat. Took it away behind square. 1 run on offer in the end. Ambitious bit of stroke play to start the over with there. Here comes Grucock again. Little leading edge to start her latest attempt to outfox Seren Smale. 10 without loss. The 10 so far, rather, to Seren Smale. Makes it 11 with that shot played into the leg side. It was a diving attempt by Katie Kopak, who's got the crucial catch of Emma Lamb. Fee Morris also run out in a real mix-up between the 2 opening batters. Both of them dismissed now. As this one's hit over the top, down the ground it goes, and it will beat the effort from Gardner at long on, and that's a precious boundary for Katie Mack. Takes her on to 13, 67 for 2. Ellie Indy, that's exactly what Thunder need more of.
Exactly, I think it was an interesting choice to let Jodie Grucock bowl her final over. I would have thought they saved her towards the end. She's halfway through her final over. I think the rate is now, it's looking a lot less daunting.
Here's Grucock again, and this one is driven into the offside by Mack. She's going to look for 2, because she always does look for 2, but doesn't get it on this occasion. 68 for 2 the score. Reminder, the target 152 here at Blackpool for Thunder to win this game. We'll bring you the latest from Trent Bridge at the end of this over, as Grucock tosses the ball one hand to the other and throws a ball that turns back in towards the stumps. Another single added, so we have reached the end of the over. 69 for 2 here is the score in Blackpool against the Sunrisers, and we will be crossing over to Scott Reed, who will be able to tell us the latest from Trent Bridge. How are things going at Trent Bridge, Scott?
Towards mid-wicket. It's gone for 4 out towards that left-hand side, out toward the deep mid-wicket boundary, and it's 4 more from Notts Outlaws, who are doing their best to try and piece something together here, but it's not been great so far by the home side. It's been brilliant by Lancashire Lightning. They've picked up so far 4 wickets. Joe Clark run out for North, Alex Hemel for 4, Will Young for 4, and Matt Montgomery for 6. So the home side, the Notts Outlaws 66 for 4 in the 10th over of their innings. And that's worked her way down towards this near side for another single.
So whilst you're getting the latest from Trent Bridge there, we're not struggling 4 wickets down against Lancashire Lightning. Lancashire Thunder are dealing with the prospect of Eva Gray, who's come into the attack and is bowling to Katie Mack, who's down looking for the ramp. Gets a little bit on it, I think, and that's going to go away for 4 runs. A clever shot from Katie Mack, just managing to divert the ball past the wicketkeeper and away for 4 runs. 74 for 2 the total moves on to, and that's exactly what Thunder are going to need.
It's starting to become a bit more reliable on Katie Mack, but let's not forget about Seren Smale at the other end of the field as well. They're both looking to start crack on now, and I think that partnership will be quite key.
Here's Eva Gray flicking the ball over her shoulder and away for 4 runs, and 78 for 2. It becomes another couple little another little dab over the shoulder, very inventive from Katie Mack, Ellie.
Indeed. Like I said, this partnership will be key. 31 off of 24 already. If Thunder try and get back into this game.
So 74 needed from 57 balls. Not out of hand yet for Lancashire Thunder. Mack goes up towards long on as we look from the north end. Bowling coming from the south end at the moment, and that is another single to the total. Fielder was Gardner in the distance, had to be careful to gather it here. Certainly getting a little cooler. Will be for those spectators up on the decking area as Eva Gray in, right arm over the wicket. Too small, is flicking away cleverly into the leg side. Thinks about 2, but settles for 1. 80 for 2. The requirement now down to 72 runs to win this game. A reminder earlier in the day, victories for Southern Vipers, the Blaze and the Central Sparks. Those are the teams that these sides, Lancashire Thunder and Sunrise, are looking to chase at the top of the table. Gray bowls. Mack flicks. Is going to pick up 1. Looking to come back for 2. She will come back for 2. Good running by the Australian who won the Women's Big Bash League with Adelaide Strikers. Gets hit by the ball, which causes her a slight limp or 2. But I think she will be all right. Not too many ill effects there. And Katie Mack, who is on to 25, takes Lancashire Thunder within 70 of their target for victory. Ellie Indy, what are you making of that as a score at this stage?
I think when you look at, I guess, the bigger picture, that the run rate that they were requiring after the power plays dipped just to 7.8 and over. And
they're well ahead on DLS at the moment. At the end of the 11th over, the point we find ourselves at now, they would require a par score of 75. So they have 82 at the moment. So they'll be fairly content with that as a situation at the moment. Seren Smale facing up and driving with a swish of the bat into the offside, and it's been misfielded. And there will be 2. Katie Mack's always going to take advantage of those little mistakes, and Seren Smale regains a ground 2 to applause from the Thunder balcony. 84 for 2 now, the total. 68 more required for victory in this game. Villiers into the attack with those 17 T20 international caps. Hit in the air, and it's gone down from Scrivens. She was going away to her left-hand side at mid-off and really should have held on to that and didn't. And that could be a crucial moment in this game. Seren Smale dropped with her score on 16. We saw Lissy McLoud dropped on 13 and go on to make 60. Smale will be looking to do something similar. Mack advancing down the track, but not finding a stroke of any meaning in terms of the scoreboard. It's a dot ball. 85 for 2. A crucial
kicking at the ground after that one.
Drop there as we see another wicket fall in the blast game at Trent Bridge as we just complete this over with a couple of have a look at the wicket at Trent Bridge as well. So Lancashire Thunder here, hoping that wickets won't tumble. And still a little bit left in this Villiers over. And still a chance for another single. Well taken there to Katie Kopak. 88 for 2. The final ball of the 12th over of the game. The DLS target is 82 at the end of this over, so still staying ahead on that rate and clipped away into the leg side. 89 for 2 the score becomes, and that was, we were saying in the first innings, there are almost these nothing overs where no wickets fell, singles were being scored, the game didn't move one way or the other. That felt another one of those to me, Ellie Indy.
Yeah, very similar to the one Kit Cross bowled in her third. Unfortunate drop catch there, and there was sort of a half chance for Kate Kopak, but eventually just flying way over her head there. There's a Maracá steps back from the stumps again.
Yeah, just examining things, assessing things, which very much what we're doing here. Now, Nick Hancock coming into the attack from the south end of Blackpool Cricket Club, bowled her first over from the north end of the ground, and is now going to try a look from the opposite end, such as the nature of T20 cricket. It's Munro to get the wicket to fall to a bowler. There's also been a run out of Morris, the wickets falling on 39 and 43 in this game so far. In comes Nick Hancock then. Bowls to Smale, looks to work leg side, doesn't get a touch on it, but will get another delivery because that's a wide. So score moves on to 90, 62 more required for victory. It looks within range for Lancashire Thunder here, Ellie.
Absolutely, I think with the way that Katie Mack's starting to fire into Sarah Smale, you just feel like if they can keep hold of this partnership, and especially with the way that Hancock had been pretty much whacked for runs in a first over, you feel as though this could be a great chance for them to capitalise.
Yep, certainly will be. Lizzie McLeod just going to a short fine leg position right on the edge of the ring. We've also got a short third. Smale waits. Got long on backs, also got a fielder back at square leg that's clipped this one past McLeod at fine leg, and will pick up 2 runs to a total. Should be happy with those. 60 to win now for Lancashire Thunder. It's a tense chase here. It's a chase that could be vital to their chances in this competition, the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the T20 competition in women's domestic cricket. A couple more Rachel Hayer-Flint Trophy games before we break for the 100, which is also short form, as that one's hit nicely by Sarah Smale onside. There is a fielder back at long on, but Katie Mack's going to try and get back. Oh, that's a direct hit. Well, there's very few ways of running out Katie Mack, but that's one of them, a direct hit from the long on boundary. It just dislodges the leg bail, and that was a really, really fine bit of work out there by Jo Gardner to throw the stumps down from that distance. Mack had taken the gamble she was going to get back, but she finds herself out for 28 with 59 more runs required with the single that was completed. Ellie Threlkeld, the captain, walking out. Ellie Indy, cricket content creator, what do you make of that?
That's a big shift in this game. I feel like Ellie Threlkeld is very similar to Emma Lamb in the sense that they both take their time to get in and really assess the condition before making those big hits. That's not what they need right now, especially when you think of what they've got coming up. I think you could easily put in one of your tail enders to get some runs quickly here because they don't have time to assess. Brilliant run out by Jo Gardner.
Yep, the confirmation of that Jo Gardner run out, and we've seen it on the replay there. I mean, a brilliant throw from the distance and just hitting the base of the leg stump. They always say to aim at the base of the stumps because if it bounces, you get a bit of an extra chance. Well, that was a classic example there of exactly how to do that, and it's resulted in a precious, precious wicket. In comes Nick Hancock again. Bowls to Sarah Smale, who deflects into the leg side, now has a lot resting on her shoulders, and she's going to come back for the second, and this could be tight as well as Mara Carr tries to affect the run out. But on this occasion, the throw wasn't as precise as Jo Gardner's, and they do get back for the 2, and that is the nature of T20 cricket, and we see it there again. So they go Hancock there, 95 for 3 the total moves on to. We're seeing a wicket at Trent Bridge as well that is absolutely identical to what's just happened here. So Nick Hancock delivers the latest delivery. It's flicked away into the leg side. Let's take a look at this wicket at Trent Bridge. Oh, we see it. So again, a run out happening here at Blackpool and a run out happening here, or happening over in the East Midlands at Trent Bridge. So we've seen Wickets tumbling to runouts. One advantageous to Lancashire, one here at Blackpool, perhaps not, but it's down to the captain, Ellie Threlkeld now. She's not faced a ball yet. 96 for 3, 56 more required of 44 balls. So a couple of boundaries, and Lancashire Thunder are back where they need to be, but they need a couple of boundaries. Threlkeld flicks leg side. That won't be a boundary, but it will be a run. Nearly said runs, but it was a run in the singular variety again. 97 for 3. Smale all of a sudden becoming the senior partner here, it seems, even though she's with her captain.
Yeah, I think Ellie Threlkeld's just not had the time at the crease to be able to assess the conditions. I think that's what she naturally does as a player anyway, but as you see, Sophie Eccleston warming up in front of us.
Just getting ready to go out there and have a swing of the bat that may be required in the latter stages of this innings. Just a couple of flicks of the legs from Sophie Eccleston, a couple of side steps, another single taken to the total. 99 for 3 now. 53 required from 42 balls. In fact, it's 98 for 3 rather. 54 required from 42 balls here. So a very, very tense situation. Sophie Munro coming back into the attack here, Ellie Indy. She bowled well earlier on, taking 2 overs, 12 for 1. What impact could she have on this game now?
I think if Seren Smale goes here, who is on strike, I think that would change the game a lot, and it would favour Sunrise as quite a fair whack here.
Yeah, it would create big problems, wouldn't it, if they find themselves without Seren Smale. She's the batter who's in. She's lost Katie Mack at the other end, but who knows, she might be able to find a way to victory on her own. Flicks this one leg side, take a single. Well, that's not really what Lancashire Thunder need at this stage. They have to find a boundary just to slim down that gap between the runs to win, which stands at 53, and the balls remaining, which is now at 41 with that first ball of the 14th over. Take a look at what the DLS par score says for the end of this 14th over as well. In just a moment, as that one's through outside the off stump. Threlkeld has to settle for a dot ball, so 99 for 3 it remains. That par score would be 98 at the end of the over, so they're still ahead on that count, which is quite telling. But for me, it feels they just need to close that 13 gap between runs required and balls faced. Flicked again into the leg side, another dot ball. Kopak there with the fielding, and it's almost what you're saying, Ellie Indy, that the problem Threlkeld's going to have is she's going to have to find these boundaries.
Yeah, and she's just not going to do that so early on in her innings, because she's not really typically that kind of player. While the equation doesn't look too bad for Thunder, they do
Here's
need
Munro.
something.
It's a full toss, and it's clipped away into the leg side. Bounces once, and it will only be one run out to Eva Gray. That brings up the 100, though, for Thunder. So 100 for 3, the Thunder score, which I think once upon a time I said was never a bad score in any game of cricket. But with 52 required of 38, it may be a little bit of a task for Thunder here.
Yeah.
They're ahead on several counts, but they feel, to me, at Blackpool as if they might be slightly behind at the moment, as Smale works it back to the bowler Munro, who's been very impressive, on loan at the moment from the Blaze. And
every dot matters here, and I feel like each one that goes by, I think it's just putting a little bit more pressure on, and I think Sophie Munro is just bowling a really great over here, as predicted.
It feels the 1s and 2s sort of don't move things too much, but the dot balls certainly do create a problem, and that one's taken a pad on its way down the leg side, and it'll be frustrating for Seren Smale. So 100 for 3, the score at the end of the 14th over of the innings, and that's ahead on DLS still, but it can be a little misleading sometimes, those those DLS calculations, they've of course been calculated on a vast quantity of men's cricket and perhaps less women's cricket over the years, so they can be deceptive at times.
I think sometimes they just pluck random numbers, to be honest with you, but
I'm sure Messrs Duckworth, Lewis and Stern would argue with that, but there we go. It can feel like that as a supporter though, can't it? See, as I say, that game at Trent Bridge, Notts Outlaws now 101 for 6. They're playing Lancashire Lightning. Lancashire Thunder here on Lancs TV are needing 52 of 36 balls to maintain their record at Fortress Blackpool. Saw them beat the Stars and Northern Diamonds last season and qualify for finals day. You feel they're going to have to get these 52 if they're going to be in with a chance of finals day again. And backing away and out is Ellie Threlkeld, looking to create the boundary and bowled in the end. It was a good bit of bowling by Eva Gray, just straight and true into the stumps. And Threlkeld is out for 2, 100 for 4. The score becomes Ellie Indy.
I think the only positive, and I said this when they lost their previous wicket, of you know, it's so important that Seren Smale is in, because when they last came back, Seren was the only senior, I guess, batter that had gotten into the game. Now Ellie's gone as well. Ellie didn't really have an impact on the game, so Seren is still there. And yeah, Sophie Eccleston comes in after warming up. Did think they would promote some of the tail-enders.
Yeah, I mean, Sophie Eccleston, we know she hits a very, very clean ball. She found a 6 in the game last Sunday at Old Trafford, and she'll be looking to do the same again. But it also feels like it needs her to do the same again. I think she might wait to the next over to go for the really big hits, because she'll have a shorter boundary on the leg side. But
yeah,
let's see. Assesses her options, and Eva Gray with the ball does the same. 52 of 35 then required. Gray bowls. Eccleston looks to flick. It's wide down the leg side, is it? The umpire decides there was no there was some sort of contact with the pads of Eccleston. He looks fairly aghast, I must say. Another bird flaps its way across the grey sky in the distance. The wind picking up a little here in Blackpool. Thunder in need of boundaries to get themselves to this target of 152. Eccleston out there trying to find them, and again looks for a little fiddly shot outside the off stump and doesn't connect. So again, it's a dot ball to Eva Gray, who has come back very well in this over. Back to her mark, turns and makes her way in again. 16 for 1 her figures at the moment. Concedes another run here to Lissy McLeod off the outside edge of Eccleston's bat. Not quite where she intended it, but she'll take the run nonetheless. 101 for 4, 51 more for victory. A lot resting on Smale, who has 26. When Matt was there, it almost felt like Smale was going to try and do the Surun Kumar role and Matt maybe do the Lissy McLeod role.
Yeah, yeah.
Now Smale's going to have to step up. Here comes Kopak. Bowls right arm over the wicket. Smale just works leg side. Will pick up a 1. 50 more required for victory. 102 for 4. Eccleston clearly brought in for the boundaries here, Ellie Indy.
But she's not having that effect, which Thunder need. Thunder need this. I think that gap is just getting bigger and bigger.
Has another go here, but again, down the leg side. This time it doesn't take any of Eccleston and it is signalled wide. So that's a useful extra delivery and an extra run. 103 for 4. 49 for victory. Cool day now here in Blackpool on Sunday afternoon. Let's hope they've got the roasts out on the balcony up there. Well, your roast might go cold quite quickly. Eccleston prods that one into the offside. It's not the boundary that she'll be looking for probably from this next over, but she does pick up another one. 48 then, off 30 balls. The DLS par for 4 wickets down, saying 107 at the moment.
But I can feel a slight bit of rain.
Yeah,
coming
certainly
down
blowing, isn't it?
Blackpool.
Right to left as we look, but west to east if you want to get your points out on your compass. But yeah, the rain is definitely falling now. It's up to the umpires to try and stay out there. If we went off at this stage, I make it a victory to Thunder, but we haven't, so we'll wait to see what the score will be at the end of the over. Eccleston picks up a 1 to start it. As I say, she will be looking for the boundary here, but Maddie Villiers, with international class, comes on here. 105 for 4, and Eccleston's international class is generally with ball in hand rather than bat. Smale smacks it hard out to cover a dot ball, a crucial dot ball, because the target at the end of this over is 115 for 4, and the rain has been falling fairly heavily at the start of it. Swept hard out to the boundary. Flo Miller's there, picks up and will return. Another 1 to the total, 106 for 4. The rain easing slightly, which is good news from a Thunder point of view, because I don't think they're going to get to the 115 by the end of this over. 46 off 27 if we go the distance. Down into the ground again and whisked around the corner and away for 4 runs. And that's what Eccleston's been sent in to do. She takes her score to 7, takes Thunder to 110 for 4. They would need another 5 runs by my calculations here from the remainder of this over to be in pole position on Duckworth Lewis Stern. Maddie Villiers has been tossed a cloth to dry the ball with. The rain increased again slightly as Eccleston hit that boundary. What are you making of it, Ellie Indy?
The river or the boundary?
Well, both. The situation of the game, I suppose. We'll get your thoughts after this ball from Villiers, because it could all change again with a dot ball outside the off stump. Very, very tense here.
Yeah, I think DLS may come into fact here, which is something that the Thunder are going to have to think about, right?
Approaching the end of the 16th, hit over the top and over Jodie Grucock, and that one should go away for 4 runs. It does. The umpire signals as much. That takes the score on to 114 for 4. We have had 16 overs of this chase. 4 wickets down is the column we're looking at the minute. 115 would be the target. So at the moment, this game, I think, would be a tie, because they would be 1 short of their target.
Yeah. And just for comparison, Sunrise is 117 for 5 at this point.
Although I suppose you'd have to go 1 past it, wouldn't you, for victory? So I think 115 would be the tie. So they'd lose by a run, by my calculations at this point. But Eccleston finds the boundary there. That's what she's been sent in to do.
Yeah.
The end of the next over, provided no more wickets fall, 123 would be the score. If 1 wicket does fall, it's 124. If 2 fall, it's 125. But 1, 2, 3 is the DLS target at the moment. So it would be a tied game if we went off at the end of the 17th with a score on 1, 2, 3. If Thunder can go past that, they would be in a winning position. If they're below that, they would be in a losing position. The rain increases in intensity again. The umpires doing their best to keep us out there. The bowling coming from the south end. It's the Australian Nick Hancock. Whether this has affected Scrivens' decisions as well is interesting, as this one's hit out to the cover boundary for 1. Eva Gray is there. Eccleston's going to have to go for this. But is she maybe going to options that she wouldn't at this stage ordinarily, or is she sticking to her plan?
With the ball getting slightly slippery, I would have taken pace off. I would have continued with the spinners. However, when you've got Jodie Grucock balled out, Maddie Villiers balled out, you can only really bowl yourself in that situation, being quite short.
Yeah, and it'd be a big call to give herself the first over of the game with things so evenly poised. The rain seems to stop for a moment here as Eccleston drives up to extra cover. If we go the distance, it's 37 off 22 required. But if the rain increases in intensity, we could well be over by the end of this over. And there's also been a wicket at Trent Bridge in the other game we're following involving Lancashire Lightning. We will see that probably after this ball from Nick Hancock, because she's just turned at the back of her run and made her way in.
Wide.
So a brilliant catch we're seeing over there at Trent Bridge, and that ball just down the leg side by Nick Hancock whilst we were away, picking up the action there. So 116 for 4 with the wide, 36 needed off 22. The rain's still just falling, but lighter than it was earlier in this over. So many factors to consider here, Ellie Indy, as Nick Hancock comes in and bowls, and chopped away by Eccleston. She might well have found the boundary behind square on the offside. It rolls away.
She has.
It's cheered by her teammates, who have probably had the best view of that in Blackpool Cricket Club. 120 for 4, 32 required off 21.
Closing the gap between the runner ball, which is really important, and obviously Sophie Eccleston, she's starting to hit those boundaries now. Weather report, I mean, the rain is still quite light. We're still going on. But we do have to take DLS into consideration at this point as well.
It's changing moment to moment, isn't it, that rain? It's it's light but steady, I think would be the description at the moment, but perhaps getting steadier by the moment as Eccleston hits this one into the offside, picks up another 121 for 4. That means we've got 2 balls left in this over, so 20 remaining in the game. 31 runs required for victory for Lancashire Thunder, but the rain now increasing in intensity. The end of this over, the 17th, 1-2-3 for 4 would be the par DLS score.
I think the
and
aim
this
is
really
to try
is
and get
getting
through
heavy
this.
now.
Yeah.
I think these next 2 balls could be the last in the game. Here comes Nick Hancock again. Bowls to Seren Smale. Swishes a drive into the offside. They need to get back for 2 if they can. They can't. 1-2-1 for 4. Eccleston really from this ball is going to have to hit a boundary, because I think we're coming off after this one. I think it'd be very brave to stay out there. Credit to the umpires if they manage it, but for me, Eccleston
Just
needs at least a single. 1-2-2 for 4. 1-2-3. The DLS score. It's just been confirmed by the Sunrisers camp as Nick Hancock is at the back of a mark. Eccleston assesses things. Crucial moment in the game, this, because this could be the last delivery of the game. In comes Nick Hancock to bowl. Right arm over the wicket. Stabbed into the offside by Eccleston. They're going to look for 2. They don't get 2. 1-2-3 for 4. So things are dead level. There's been a wicket at Trent Bridge as well in the game between Lancashire Lightning. Let's cross to that now.
Yeah.
Another catch for Luke Wells there in the game at Trent Bridge. A big discussion has been going on between the umpires whilst we've been showing you that wicket about whether we're going to continue. I felt when the last ball was being bowled, it was heavy enough to come off, but unfortunately fortunately really from both sides' perspectives, because they will want to get this game done.
And the covers are coming on.
It seems as if, where are they? Right, away to our left, yeah, the covers are coming on. It was a long discussion here, and the scores would actually, I make them level at 1-2-3 for 4. That's the DLS par at the moment. So I would make this a tie as things stand. We have not been able to start the 18th over here. 1-2-3 for 4, which is the DLS par score, is what Thunder have reached. This is dramatic stuff, Ellie Indy.
Oh, aye.
It's one of those things you can only say in cricket, that this is dramatic stuff when we see the covers being wheeled out in the rain. But it is, isn't it?
It is, in the context of, I guess, playoffs, in the context of this game in the context of literally everything to do with the Charlotte Edwards Cup this weekend, I feel as though...
Well, we will continue to make sure that we bring you the conclusions to this game. But, I mean, it is a very, very tense situation because things are a dead level, and that kind of almost doesn't help either team when we look at the table, does it? Because they've both got to chase sparks and get into that 4th spot.
Well, Thunder are still ahead of Sunrisers at the moment on just 1 point, but obviously when this game ends, it'll go down to bonus points.
Yeah, so that's all that's separating them in the table at the moment is the bonus points. They both take 2 in the event of a tie, which is what we think will be the situation here. Interestingly, they've only covered the middle of the pitch so far. They are bringing the other cover on now, though. It does seem to have eased to me, though. And we do sort of get half an hour's grace here. So hopefully we're going to be able to get back on. We will probably cross at some point, I would imagine, and get a report from Trent Bridge. But we're going to stick with this for now because it looks as if the rain has begun to ease slightly. I'm going to send you as our roving weather report here, Ellie Indy, and if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask you to go and just stick your hand out the tent and see whether it is still raining, because it does seem to be.
I can see the
easing
droplets
at the
coming
moment.
off the tent.
Yeah, there's certainly droplets coming off the tent, but has it actually eased out there, or is there still a drizzle? Ellie Indy's hands testing for us at the moment.
I wouldn't say
We're
it's a
level on
reliable
DLS
source,
par.
but what I'm saying is that it is not raining. Right now, it's not raining.
So at this precise moment, with the covers poised to come on the pitch, but not on, we've got one coming on at the far end and one waiting at the moment at the other end that's just been manoeuvred into position now.
Chaos.
It looks as if, as is the way with these things, it's actually managed to have to stop here. So we are level on DLS par. Things are dead even. This would be a tied game, we believe, at the moment, because Thunder have reached their target but not passed their target. Both these sides have 2 wins from 2. A tie doesn't really help either of these sides in this situation, but will they get the chance to come back on? We will see. 18 balls remaining here, Ellie Indy. 29 to win. Who do you make the favourites if we were to go the distance?
If we were to go, oof. I think Thunder have got it in them. I do, but when you look at who the Sunrisers have left to bowl, I think there's quite a lot of threat there from Sophie Munro. She was absolutely key. She was economical in her spell, took the wicket. You've got Eva Gray and obviously Nick Hancock, who's gone for some runs today, but you've got that pace. And you've also got the options of, Grace Scrivens and Lizzie McLeod to bowl some spin if we need. But
it'd be a bold move, wouldn't it, from the captain to bring on a bowler who hasn't bowled in the game before. But then I suppose they're all going to be as sort of, they're going to be in the same situation of warmed up now after this delay anyway, aren't they? The Sunriser players are still standing out there, so they seem. That would indicate to me they're keen to get back on. The Thunder players, as far as I can see, have disappeared back into the changing rooms, which maybe implies they're a little less keen to get back on. Currently, the scores, as I say, are level. 123 for 4 is the DLS par score. We've seen wins for the Blaze, the Southern Vipers and Central Sparks already today. The Vipers have gone... will gain 4 points at least, as will the Central Sparks today. So they have sort of stolen a march on these 2 teams here. So really both these sides need to get back out there. The Blaze way ahead at the top. We're seeing the worm on the graphics during this break here, and that shows just how close it is between these 2 teams. I mean, it's very noticeable looking at that graphic that you've got the sort of the team hat-trick that Lancashire Thunder managed to get, with Sophie Eccleston completing it with an LBW after 2 run-outs, and that sort of really kind of flattened off the end of the Sunrisers chase, but they were going at 8, and that is going to be the challenge now for Lancashire Thunder. Can they come out and almost go from scratch again and stay up with this rate and knock off these runs at the back end? I remember we saw one of the first rain-affected games in the Charlotte Edwards Cup was at Chester, and we were sat in a very similar gazebo watching the rain fall, and we came out for a bizarre little chase that Western Storm had, and I think they ended up having something like, you know, it wasn't even a full over, it was like 2.5 overs or something. And Fee Morris, ironically, was the one who came out and played the inventive strokes and got Western Storm, as it then was, over the, or as then was her team, over the line. But now she will be hoping that her team can get back out again, that we can get a break in the rain, which is falling again. We've had the little weather report from Ellie Indy there, but it is now starting to fall steadily. And if it continues to do so, we will not be getting back on here, because there has to be a break. You can probably see it actually looking at your pictures, just falling on top of the covers, and it is becoming a situation with so little time left in the game where it is becoming difficult for us to get back on here. We've came off round about 1:45, didn't we? I didn't get the exact minute, but around about 1:45, we get about half an hour's grace in these games, and then we start losing overs. And with only 18 balls left, it is we don't have much to lose. Now, we will be crossing over, I think, to where we do have cricket, which is over at Trent Bridge, where Scott Reed is in position.
The spray told him to get on the boundary, and rather finishing that, but he crept in and he sort of pounded over the bar. One ball left. 147 for 8. That's in the air again, out towards deep mid wicket. Successive sixes. The innings for the North. They've got to 1-3 for 8, which is, gives them a little bit of something to try and work with. I mean, it shouldn't be enough, but they've managed to find a bit of momentum at the end of their innings. Successive sixes off Saqib Mahmood, pushing the Notts Outlaws up to a fraction beyond 150 mark. 1-5. Liam Patterson 34, and Ollie Stone 10 from 7. So 1-5 for 8. Mahmood conceded 2 sixes at the end of his 4th and final over, finishing with 2 for 28. Took 153 to win for Lancashire Lightning. What a quirky game this has been. It was such a magnificent start for the Red Rose, for Lightning, picking up early wickets. The top 4, the 3 all out cheaply, Clark and Hales and Young. And then a little bit of a fight back thanks to Jack Haynes making 45. And then we saw Liam Patterson-White's 4 from 21 at the back end of the innings, just adding a bit more momentum really for Notts Outlaws. I think in truth, Lancashire Lightning will be absolutely thrilled at their bowling performance, and they should be. They bowled beautifully for the course of this afternoon's fixture. They'll be great in the field. The run out early on of Joe Clark, thanks to a combination of Luke Wells and Matty Hurst, and then Saqib Mahmood and Luke Wells combining for a run out of Jack Haynes. At the other end, we've seen a wicket for Luke Wood, 2 for Mahmood, 2 for Chris Green, who continues to have a brilliant blast for Lancashire Lightning. 4 overs, 2 for 16 for Green. Luke Wells, 4 overs, 1 for 25. Jack Morley making his T20 debut for Lancashire today, sent down a couple of overs. Wasn't Jack Bradwick's day with the ball. He went for 33. But again, in the field, he's been outstanding and took 2 really, really good catches to help dismiss Alex Hales and Tom Moores. So all in all, a pretty decent performance this by Lancashire Lightning. There's been a decent end to the innings for Notts Outlaws. That might just give them a bit of hope going into their defence of this total, but Lancashire Lightning will be thrilled with their performance so far. So Notts Outlaws finish on 153 for 8 here at Trent Bridge. Lancashire Lightning, who are top, looking for their 4th win from 5 games against the Notts Outlaws, who have played 4 and lost 4, have been set 154 to win.
I wanna fly the world.
1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. Because it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Canada Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you.
Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that?
How's that?
How's that?
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
Will these two stay out there after a drink? And that's a huge sip over to the Hilton review system. 3 reds, no doubt at all. And up goes the finger. When it has to be absolutely plum, it matters where you stay.
Hi, I'm Keaton, and this is Luke. We are the giraffe opening pair at Lancashire Cricket Club. We are here today at the Mistoria Estate Agents. Let's see what they have in store for us. One of the highlights for me probably was making my Test debut. You aspire to play international cricket, and I think for me, making that Test debut in Mumbai was a special moment I think I'll look back on.
Property is potentially an option that, well, I've already started to go down. I'd like to explore more options in the future for sure. I've seen how positive an investment strategy that can be.
If I could, I'd get a little clay pigeon shot up in the garden. I'm not entirely sure the neighbours would be all too happy with it, but yeah, a little clay pigeon trap.
The idea of dealing with the day-to-day stress of everything that comes with being a landlord isn't something that I would necessarily want to be a part of, to be honest. So using an experienced agent like Story would definitely be something I'd be interested in.
I think it's our devilishly good looks, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure where the reference comes from.
I think it's fairly self-explanatory.
I think just making sure the advice you're getting is aligned with the goals. It's a big investment, it's a large chunk of your savings, so to make sure it's taken care of and taken care of in a really sort of professional manner.
Certain bits in it, but the heritage of the club is actually everywhere you look. So there will be a new heritage of the English over the last year. So many people say they're both.
Hi Noah. Nice to meet you.
Can you believe it? No. I can't stop smiling. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, that's it.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone, all over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All welcome, all invited, even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained, and all they want is for us to have a great time. Always have fun. Catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
Two local favourites are staying at the Hilton Garden Inn. She's gone for the chip. My goodness me. It's over to the Hilton review system. A big bite. Gone. When lunch is the best part of the day, it matters where you stay.
1954, Cyril Washbrook became the first professional captain of the county.
Lancashire have won a tremendous victory here. Indeed he has. What a moment.
Well, the real thrust of that innings came from Hagan's Fairbrother.
Fine chance to run to the winning hit. On come the crowd.
That's a big hit. It's another monster hit for six. Big shot by Sol. It's into...
I think the pace of the women's game and how far it's moved and how quickly it's moved is absolutely phenomenal. And I think not many people would have ever envisaged that it could have moved the way that it has done.
So you would never imagine seeing that type of crowd for a women's match when I used to go and watch Thunder play Blackpool in the KSL.
Just to see the growth of the game, it's a super exciting time.
Been here at Emirates Old Trafford in the indoor school over the winter. The first time ever as a women's team we've been able to have a really good training block here.
Today there's huge misogyny in cricket. There's huge casual sexism every single day.
I guess it's pretty entrenched. Women's cricket wasn't really on the agenda.
Problems in cricket have been dominated by a very sort of small pool of white men, basically.
I think it's pretty clear there's a huge funding gap. A lot of stakeholders are going to have to really take a few brave decisions to get us where we need to get to.
As females, we don't want equal pay, we want equal opportunity, and that's what we're getting in our lives.
Okay.
I'm recording, so...
Nice. 3, 2. The Charlotte Edwards Cup begins on Sunday, and it's going to be a very exciting competition.
It's a massive competition, you know, especially for our Thunder girls as well. After, you know, a relatively quiet showing in the 50-over competition, I think the coaches will be really pinpointing this competition to do something.
So the Charlotte Edwards Cup is our T20 domestic competition for our regional team.
Obviously named after the great Charlotte Edwards, who's strangely a coach in the tournament, so she's playing for her own name.
It's a round-robin competition, so each team plays each other once.
Then the top 3 get through to a finals day where top of the group go straight through to a final, and second and third play off in a semi-final.
I think, in a way, this season coming up could be quite pivotal for Thunder. I think they're at a point where they're going to try and show a little bit of something for the investment that's been put in.
The pressure's there at the end of the day. You know, we're putting in significant investment from the likes of Hilton and Sports Breaks, and the club are over-investing over and above what the ECB are putting in as a regional programme, and which to a level more than any other team. I mean, we're trying to develop a professional elite environment.
The fact that it is so much more visible, that people know they can make good careers from it now, will engage the teenagers and even younger women than that to really get involved in the sport and drive it forward, which is an exciting thing for all of us involved.
A lot of teams were looking at us going, wow, they've been on this amazing pre-season tour. What are they going to be like?
Emma Lamb on strike.
You'll need 2 or 3 individuals to step up, and you need the team to function effectively as a unit.
Deandra Dottin tries to sweep, but completely misses, and the stumps are rattled.
With that investment and with that support comes increasing expectations.
Should be a catch here, straight to extra cover.
Maybe there's an element of trying to run before you can walk a little bit with it.
A big swing here, and this time she does connect. 1 bounce, and it's gone for 4. There's a field underneath, put down.
Actually, that motivation going into a new season is always really exciting.
Hello everybody. Well, we have some great news. The rain has relented enough for us to get a conclusion to this game. 29 runs are required to win for Thunder. A remaining 18 balls, which we reckon will take around 10 to 12 minutes to get in. So if we've got enough of a gap in a rain, we will get a conclusion to this game. The first ball cut away into the offside, and that's going to be a couple of runs after the misfield, and that might even go all the way. It's gone all the way. It's 4 runs. Well, Ellie Indy, what a dramatic start that is to the resumption here. And it takes it down to 25 runs to win off 17, 4 for Sophie Eccleston.
Well, we didn't expect that. They were slow to come out with Thunder, but quick to start back up again. Midfield leading to the 4.
This is good, isn't it? Because I don't think a tie is really helpful to either team in the grand schemes of things.
No. It's always good to get a result.
Here's Munro again. He's going to bowl to Eccleston, who tries to smash another one, hits it into a pad, will get a single as it dribbles out into the offside in front of square. 128 for 4. That's 24 to win off 16 balls. We've also got the game at Trent Bridge taking place where there's been a wicket. Lancashire Thunder there chasing 154 to win that game, losing their first wicket. And here we have another single clipped down the onside of straight. 23 runs to win from 15 balls, 129 for 4 the score. Ellie Indy very, very tense here.
It is, I think, bad start to the over, but I think Sunrisers have recovered really well. Kate Koppak making the effort there.
Not too many have ventured back out onto the balcony. I think they're just watching from behind the glass because it is still very damp out there. There's plenty of hospitality from Blackpool Cricket Club being enjoyed during the break when I nipped up into the pavilion. Sophie Eccleston felt she should have had a no ball there. I can't say I was totally in agreement with her on that one, but I'd have to probably have another look. It's 22 runs required off 14 balls anyway. Very difficult to know which way this game's going to go, as it has been throughout.
Yeah, I think as Sophie Munro comes up to the wicket here.
Get more thoughts in a moment. She delivers, clap down the ground. Now this is going to be a real chase for Gardner. She's across the turf quickly, doesn't gather cleanly, and it's away for 4 runs. Hand goes to the mouth in disappointment, and she made the ground really well, but just couldn't cling on to the ball, which is very, very slippery in these conditions. We've seen that happen twice already, but it's another crucial boundary for Lancashire Thunder.
It's that gap that closes. It's closing up to run a ball for Lancashire, and it's these little misfields start the over and out at the end of it that are allowing this to happen for Thunder.
If they get to that run of ball, I think they would become favourites. At the moment, it's 18 runs to win off 13, so the gap's still quite considerable, but that was a beautifully stroked shot from Seren Smale, who has an important 35 off 30. She waits over her bat again. Munro on her way. Delivers. Clipped into the leg side. And that's going to be 1 run to the total.
I think they were wanting the second there.
Stay with us on Lancs TV. Mike Perkins and Ellie Indy, cricket content creator, your commentary team here. And 17 runs to win off 12, Ellie.
It's slightly turning in the Thunder's favour. I wouldn't want to field out on here. It's a very slippery surface. The ball's running quicker, and I think Sunrisers have just given away 2 unnecessary boundaries there. It's looking like the Thunder's way.
The shorter boundary will be on the offside for this over, which is going to come from the south end of Blackpool Cricket Club. Good to see the spectators who are in the plastic seating behind the rails away to that cover boundary have made their way back in. A few more back out on the balcony. This is all very tense, very exciting. As I say, most now watching from behind the glass in the pavilion. There's lots of Sunrisers staff looking tense here in our commentary gazebo. And Eva Gray's coming on to bowl, and that one's flicked leg side by Seren Smale. There's going to be another single added to the total. 16 now required off 11 balls. Those singles just maintaining the status quo, as they have done throughout this game, Ellie Indy.
Well, we keep saying it's like these little overs where you can't tell who's winning, but they do dictate who is winning. They keep the score ticking. They're setting up for a great final over here.
Very, very tense finish to this game.
Bit of a wait while Eva Gray waits to bowl this one.
Thinks about making her way in, then just aborts because Eccleston wasn't quite ready. She held up her hand, just asking for another second, which she got. Here comes Eva Gray. Bowls. Eccleston hits offside.
She's not got another second.
And she's been caught at cover as Sophie Eccleston claps that one away. It looks to me like it's Nick Hancock, the overseas, who's pouched the catch off the bowling of Eva Gray. Sophie Eccleston is out. Got the toe end of that one, doing the right thing, because we are, I think, after a rain delay, going to see the conclusion of this game. She was looking for the 4 that Thunder acquired just to put themselves in pole position, and she ended up hitting the fielder 136 for 5, 16 to win off 10 balls remaining in this game. Kate Cross on her way out. Big responsibility for Cross. Rarely required with bat in hand. What will she be thinking here, Ellie, indeed, do you imagine?
I think we've seen her in the 100 and she's hit some really great boundaries. I think if Kate Cross is anywhere near as good as that right now, Thunder are well in with a chance.
The par at the end of this over, for those who have been following, and we've just about got it right, I think, on our sheet in front of us throughout this. The par at the end of this over, with 5 wickets down, would be 141. So that would give you a good indication. Messrs Duckworth, Lewis and Stern think 11 runs off the final over would leave things dead level. Flicked over the top by Cross from her first ball, into a gap. She's sort of hit the pockets, as we've been calling it this season. That one out towards wide, long on. Brings 2 more. 138 for 5.
I don't think Maddie Villiers was ever grabbing onto that one.
2s are strange at this stage, aren't they? Because they're very useful. If you get 2 a ball, you get in there. But
you want the boundaries.
But you do want the boundaries, exactly. They close the gap, though, those 2s. They're sort of... 1's definitely no one's winning, but 2's you think just about the batting side. Cross gone down the ground. Now this is going to be another one of those sliding stops, and this time it's a successful stop on the boundary. That's a very, very good bit of fielding by Joe Gardner, who got the run out earlier in the innings. There was nearly an overthrow as well. 2 more to the total, 140 for 5. So they're within 1 of that par score, but I think they would want less than 11 off the last over.
Ending here.
11 off the last over. I think they want to get it less than that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and I think they will, with the intent that Kate Cross has come out with.
Cross needs 12 off 8. She's got Seren Smale for company, 37 not out. Eva Gray, ball in hand. Running into bowl, heel to toe as she goes. Slower ball, hit out towards cover, and that's a brilliant stop by Grace Scrivens. Couldn't hold on to a catch earlier in the innings, but she managed to grasp the ball at the crucial moment there. Diving away to her left-hand side, keeps it to 1. Smale here may as well go for broke, you feel. Look for the boundary and just try and put Thunder in a really advantageous position. 141 for 5 the score. They need 11 more to win off 7.
It depends who they want facing the final over as well. You've got to think about it like that. Do they go for the 2, the 1, and get Cross on strike, who is hitting?
Let's find out. Gray bowls, flicked leg side. There's going to be at least 1. Are they going to look to come back for 2 regardless? Smale is running as hard as she can, and she'll get there. Brilliant piece of running from Seren Smale. This is very, very tense at Blackpool Cricket Club. Smale has got back. 143 for 5. Smale has 39. Cross has 5. 9 to win from the final over of this game. At one point, we weren't sure whether we were going to see it when we went off for rain, but we're going to get a fantastic conclusion here.
We will get an amazing result, regardless of who wins, to be fair. For Thunder to have come back from a position where they just didn't really look comfortable with Emma Lamb at the crease and Fee Morris, and for the Sunrisers to defend the total against this Thunder, who are fighting back in the final few overs.
Well, the final over looks as if it is going to be bowled by, as we wait to see the cap being handed to the umpire. Now this is a big moment. We were discussing it. Would the captain bowl herself? Would she bowl? And she hasn't bowled herself in the entire game, but Grace Scrivens, who won the game with the bat against Northern Diamonds, is going to try and win the game with the ball for Sunrisers here.
So Scrivens favours herself there over Nick Hancock, who obviously has the over left, bowled the last over before we went off for rain.
I mean, this is a really brave move from the captain. It's real leadership, whichever way this goes,
Absolutely.
that she's decided to take the decision, take the responsibility herself. She's going to take the pace off the ball as well, crucially, but a short leg side boundary. It's protected by long on, it's protected by mid-wicket. She's got square leg and 45 up. She's bowling to Kate Cross of England. Grace Scrivens into the pitch. Cross has gone high into the air. She hasn't got enough of it, but that's going to save her in the end. And then it bounces on the slippy turf past Jo Gardner. But Villiers was alert enough to come and cover and pick up. And then Gardner ducked to allow the throw to come in. A thrilling finish here. They get back for 2. They keep doing that. It'll be enough. They need 7 off 5. Cross has 7.
It's hard to play for.
That deep breath said a lot there, I think, Ellie Indy. This is a very, very tense finish to this Charlotte Edwards Cup game. Both sides needing victory. Scrivens on her way in. Bowls, and this one's hit high by Cross, and this could go all the way, or it could be out. And it has gone all the way for 4 runs or 6 runs. The umpire is deciding. He wants some guidance. It was 6. It looked like it was going to be 6 or out for Kate Cross. It is 6 or out. It goes all the way over the top, and the fielder's fingertips got to the ball, but she couldn't cling on in these slippy conditions. And surely now, Kate Cross, having levelled the scores, is going to win this game for Lancashire Thunder. And it is a harsh, harsh way for the game to end from a Sunrisers point of view, but it is a superb piece of hitting from Kate Cross.
It is, and she tried it just to deliver earlier. Didn't pay off. She's done it again, bravely, knowing that there's 2 fielders in Jo Gardner and Maddie Villiers, and still went for it and still got it.
I suppose in a lot of ways she had nothing to lose, but to execute it, well, as I say, it was going to be 6 or out. Jo Gardner, superb run out earlier on, but trying to cling on to a slippy ball like that in these conditions, and slippy underfoot as well. It was difficult to steady herself and just couldn't do so. She did everything she could to keep the ball in the ropes and just to get the catch, but couldn't do so. Cross goes again, and that'll be away for 4, and that's the victory for Lancashire Thunder, and that means a huge amount to Kate Cross to be in the all-red strip here at Blackpool Cricket Club, winning a game for Thunder. And it was a game we weren't sure we were going to see the end of, but Lancashire Thunder, by 5 wickets, win this game. Ellie Indy, your thoughts on this tense finish?
That was phenomenal, and I feel like it was very difficult. You couldn't call it. Grace Scrivens calling on herself to bowl the over. It didn't pay off. Kate Cross with the final over. She's... I'm lost for words. That was something.
Well, it's understandable you are, Ellie Indy, because, I mean, what a game. I mean, it had everything. It had Sunrisers in front at points. We had a team hat-trick from Lancashire Thunder in their innings. We had 2 wickets and an over from Fee Morris. We had a 60 from Lissy McLoud. A brilliant partnership with Suran Kumar, who then couldn't come out to field. We went off for rain. We had a run out from the long on position with a direct hit to get Katie Mack, who's probably one of the quickest players in the game. And it all ended with Thunder coming back out and Kate Cross hitting a 6, which ultimately decided this game.
Yeah, I just don't think it helped Sunrisers fielding on this soggy, damp outfield. I can understand Scrivens' decision. Bowling herself, I feel like the pace of Nick Hancock, it would have just been too much. You'd be whacking it all over the place. So she's taken pace off, but it's just not paid off. And Kate Cross has absolutely bossed that final over.
Yeah, we'll try and bring you some reaction, I think, from this game, because it's been so thrilling. But myself and Ellie Indy are going to keep chatting. Let's take you through the card here, because it is well, it's been a hugely significant day for Lancashire Thunder to get this win, to keep themselves in contention for those top 4. And it has been a game that has swung one way and then the other. So let's take you through the Sunrisers innings first of all. First out was Maddie Villiers, who hit a 6 in the opening over, came out swinging, but was then caught by Collins off the bowling of Cross. Then Eccleston gets Jo Gardner, who was attempting a sweep shot and got herself out. Then Lissy McLeod came to the wicket. She was the top scorer of the innings, first joined by Grace Scrivens, who was LBW to Fee Morris. Flo Miller then went in the same over LBW, so they were out for 11 in Scrivens' case, 1 in Miller's case. That left things for, first of all, Grucock and McLeod to try and rebuild. Grucock wasn't able to do so. She was out first ball for naught, caught by Emma Lamb. So it was left to Suren Kumar to come in with the score at 73 for 5. They rebuilt, though, taking it up to 133 for 6 when McLeod was eventually run out for 60 of 43 balls, 65 minutes, hit 8 fours in that innings. Suren Kumar kept going on her way. She was eventually run out for 32, the ball after McLeod of 23 balls. There was then a team hat-trick completed when Eva Gray was out LBW to her first ball. Amara Carr and Sophie Munro guided things through. Carr eventually out-bowled for 2 by Cross, but Munro made 9. Hancock made 5 not out. That left Thunder with 152 to win this game at Blackpool Cricket Club. No easy task for them to do so. They came out with Lamb and Fee Morris. Morris was the more aggressive of the pair with 3 fours and a 6 in an 18-ball 25. It lasted for 19 minutes before she was run out by the sub Kopak and Amara Carr. A little bit of a mix-up after she'd advanced down the pitch and was hit on the pads and thought there was a run on offer, which Lamb certainly didn't think there was. Lamb was then out, caught by Kopak off the bowling of Sophie Munro at mid-wicket for 14. So Lancashire's openers both out with a score on 43 at the end, or the first over after the power play when Lamb got out. Katie Mack was then superbly run out by Jo Gardner from the long-on boundary, picking up, throwing, hitting the base of the stumps and running out the Australian overseas for 28 in 27 minutes, 21 balls. She hit 3 fours in that innings. That left things to Seren Smale, who was first accompanied by Ellie Threlkel, bowled by Eva Gray for 2. And then Sophie Eccleston came to the crease, and how important was her 23 of 16 balls in 20 minutes, 4 fours. We are going to try and bring you a player interview on this stream, which is why we're continuing to run you through the cards, so do stay with us. So Eccleston out for 23 of 16 balls. That brought Kate Cross to the crease. Smale ends up on 39 not out of 33, 57 balls, 2 fours. A fantastic innings from her. But Kate Cross, 17 runs off 6 balls, including a 6 and a 4 to win the game. The 6 going through the fingertips of Jo Gardner. And that's just how fine these margins can be, Ellie.
Absolutely. And I think the rain had some effect in today's result as well. I think those last 3 overs, it was just completely damp on the outfield. Gardner just not getting her foot in. I think there was a mistake earlier in play when we first restarted, which allowed the first 4 of the restart. And I think that really just spearheaded Thunder's final over antics, with Kate Cross coming out on top of Grace Scrivens, who decided to bowl herself over Nick Hancock, who had an over left.
Well done to the umpires, I think, first and foremost for keeping the teams out there for as long as they did, but also for ensuring that we got out there at the earliest opportunity, and it was a really quick restart. But as you say, it was so slippy out there. I mean, we've seen the moody skies between just before there on Lancs TV. I mean, it was, you know, it was really coming down at one stage and looking as if we weren't going to get back on. So to get a proper conclusion to this game, credit goes to the umpires for that.
Absolutely. I think this game deserved a result. I think it was so close before the break, and I think after the break it just got even better. Obviously that changes qualification hopes for the Sunrisers, but for Thunder, I think they're a step closer to the Central Sparks now, and that kind of just blows it wide open for the Lancashire Thunder.
Yeah, because it was crucial that one of these sides got a win today, because obviously there'd been wins for 3 of the 4 sides in the top 4 places in the division in the form of Vipers, Sparks and the Blaze. So Vipers now on to 17 points. Sparks have 17 points. Thunder now have 13 points thanks to this win, but it would have been the other way round had Sunrisers won it, or they'd have had 12 because they've got 1 less bonus point. The Blaze also winning today. They're at the top with 30 points, but it just keeps it 1 win for Thunder now. 1 win and they can get there.
Yeah, I think they looked slightly poor at Old Trafford in the past couple of days with the batting performances, but I think today shows that they can put up a fight. And while their top order didn't fire, it was Katie Max, Siren Smale, Sophie Eccleston that really fired for them today, I feel like.
For a team that has been struggling with the bat a little bit, to chase down 152 to win a game, I mean, that will give them great confidence.
Absolutely, and I think that confidence can boost them towards the next win.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got another game going on involving Lancashire in the Vitality Blast. We should keep you up to date with that. Lancashire, they're chasing 154 to win that one. So a very similar situation. It's not many runs away from the 152 chase that we've had here. Lancashire Lightning, they are chasing that at the moment, 61-4-2 on the pictures that we are seeing there. So Lancashire have been chasing 152 here at Blackpool. They've been successful, Ellie Indy. They're looking to be successful in that chase up at Trent Bridge as well. I mean, what a day that would be for Lancashire fans.
It would be a great day for them. I'm not one of them, but great day for them.
Yeah, Ellie Indy, cricket content creator, with us today. But I mean, it would just be a fantastic day for everybody connected with Lancashire if they can get 2 chases of 150 plus and win 2 games of cricket. In terms of the thing, the Charlotte Edwards Cup as a whole now, I mean, we're running out of games, I suppose. It's 10 games, so another 3.
Yeah, we're at the halfway point.
Well, another 3 after this, isn't it? We're playing 10 games this time, so we've got another 3 games for Lancashire Thunder to get more points. I suppose you've got to say that top 4 are the favourites, but do you see signs of anyone in that top 4 slipping up and letting Thunder in potentially? It's going to be tough.
I would say maybe Sparks have looked slightly weak. I think they look beatable, and if Thunder come up against them, I think that wouldn't be a difficult challenge for them. But the Blaze this year have just looked unstoppable, and I think the Vipers are starting to come back to what they were. 3 losses from 3 games and 3 wins as well. They've had hot and cold form, which is almost uncommon for them. They have Charlotte Edwards as the coach. They've won it before. They're starting to come back into it, but I think they're still halfway there, if you get me. So I feel like if Thunder keep up performances like this, it's not impossible for them to break into the playoff spots and beat the teams like Vipers and Sparks.
Well, thank you for joining us on Lancs TV today. A pleasure. We haven't actually been able to get a player over. I think they're celebrating up in that pavilion in Blackpool Cricket Club, and quite rightly so. But thank you for joining us today on Lancs TV. It's been a thrilling finish to this game. Do keep an eye on how Lancashire go in that Vitality Blast game as well. My thanks to Ellie Indy for joining us on the stream today. But it has been a hugely important chase for Thunder in this game, a dramatic chase. They were set 152 for victory, and Lancashire Thunder win this game with 5 wickets to spare. Lancashire Thunder beating Sunrisers by 5 wickets.
Sorrow comes from women who know not honor and truth. Here I am, just trying to be myself. It's a crazy world, looking to find my place, and all they do is here I am just trying to run the race in the slow pace. All I'm trying to do is run, not win, and all they do is mirror, mirror, tell me, what is it about them? Living like it's their game. Karma said it better than me, you'll just end up losing. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. Here I am, trying to stand out in the crowd, have my own sound. How's that the fake ones are always so loud? All they do is here I am, I'm doing my own thing. Hell, I just wanna sing. Never wanted to impress, God bless, don't ever wanna have to. Mirror, mirror, tell me, what is it about them? Living like it's their game. In this world there's talkers and there's doers. Hey, we're all losers. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. But I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. I just wanna put down my armor, no more drama. I just wanna put down my armor, no more drama. I just wanna put down my armor, no more drama. I just wanna put down my armor, no more drama. I wanna fly the world, I wanna fly better. Take me where the weather's good, when we are together.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
How's that?
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
(1864). We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. Because it's who we are, our DNA, the Red Rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the Red Rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the Red Rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the Red Rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the Red Rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the Red Rose together.